Okay, we have a minute to go. Those of you sitting outside, please come inside and join us. Sorry, it's still 6:59. Stand by.
That was to avoid that announcement when you're trying to conduct the meeting. I don't know why it does that.
It is 7 o'clock and the Wahiawā Whitmore Village Neighborhood Board number 26 is called to order. At this time, we'd like to call our first responders for monthly reports. Honolulu Fire Department? Anyone from HFD?
Nope.
Okay, thank you. Then we're going to call up HPD, Police Department.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Lieutenant Scott Vieira. I'm the Night Watch Commander for the Wahiawā Police Station. I'll go ahead with the stats for this month. Excuse me. There were 17 assaults, 1 robbery, 0 burglaries, 2 unauthorized entry into motor vehicles or vehicles that were broken into, and there were 52 motor vehicle collisions. The total calls for service was 1,240. I'll go right into the safety tip for the month. February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness and Prevention Month. So those of you who have teens, work with teens, or are a teen, these are some things to just be concerned with, or some signs. Teens may experience physical threats or violence, unwanted sexual pleasure, explosive anger, property damage, controlling behavior, isolation tactics, excessive monitoring, jealousy, and insecurity. For more information, you can find more information on honolulupd.org, and you can also call the Domestic Violence Action Center or the national hotline. That's all I have. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Go ahead, Michelle.
Hi.
Hi.
I've seen around the island, there's these poles with blue lights on top, same kind of blue lights like on police cars. Is that affiliated with you folks?
I don't think so. Even on the North Shore Alley, there's some blue lights on the poles. I think that's some kind of, I don't know if it's spectrum, but some kind of signal, but it's not ours. It's not ours.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sylvia.
You mentioned 17 assaults.
Yes.
Is that high for Wahiawā?
It
this
actually,
area?
it is a little high. So I actually anticipated a question and I did some research. So assaults, I know it sounds bad. It's not always something where someone's badly injured or hospitalized with a weapon. So assault can be anything from a misdemeanor, which is if 2 individuals engaged in an altercation, if one of them says, I feel pain, like a slap, that's assault. It could be a misdemeanor. So of the 17, 15 were misdemeanors and 2 of them were felonies. Of the 17, 11 of the cases were already closed, meaning there was an arrest, a suspect has been identified, or someone withdrew their complaint. So yeah, it is a little higher, but I know the last time I said that, I got overwhelmed with questions because it sounds scary, and it could be an assault with a weapon, something dangerous, but oftentimes, fighting at school, 2 kids fight, all they got to say is, I feel pain, and we're going to make a case if they want to.
It just seems in the whole state that there's a rise in hostility, aggression, whether it's using weapons or not. It just seems like there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but.
Okay, any other questions from the board? Yeah, go ahead.
Am I on? Thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. So you mentioned 52 vehicular accidents.
Yes.
Is that again in the 96786, or is that for the whole district that your station covers?
That's for Wahiawā.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah,
Okay.
52 total. And again, those could be anywhere from a bumper, minimal damages, or something like real serious involving an ambulance. But that's just all of them. I didn't specify, but then that's about average
That's
for a
about
month.
average. Okay, thank you so much. And thank you again for being out there in the streets and helping to keep our community safer. We really do appreciate you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any questions from the community? Any questions for HPD? Okay, and virtually, any questions? Okay, then I do have one closing question.
Sure.
Any update on the Walgreens situation, the homicide, all of that?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I don't have any updates. I know initially that came in as a motor vehicle collision. When we got there, it was determined that the victim was stabbed and ended up dying at the scene. So we called out homicide, and that's an active investigation with homicide, and I don't have any updates. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're good. Thank you.
Okay, have a good evening.
Okay.
See you guys later.
You too. Thank you. Moving on to our monthly reports, calling up for Congresswoman Tokuda's office, Nicole. Hi, Nicole.
For having me. So the monthly report was sent to you guys earlier this month. Highlights are Tokuda joined Democrats on the House Agriculture Committee to introduce the Farm and Family Release Act to provide economic assistance to family farmers impacted by the president's tariffs and mitigate the impacts of SNAP cuts. Congresswoman Tokuda led a bipartisan letter to the Department of Homeland Security in support of rural health care by requesting an exemption from USCIS's newly implemented $100,000 fee for foreign healthcare workers applying for new H-1B visas. And then following the deaths of 2 Americans in Minnesota and a year of aggressive and unlawful actions by immigration and customs enforcement agents nationwide, the Congresswoman voted no on a 2-week stopgap funding bill for ICE. The measure passed the House, was enacted, and Congress is negotiating how to keep ICE accountable to legal and moral standards as funding discussions continue. Rep. Tokuda has been about the district, most notably for you all. She would like to thank both the board members, State Rep. Peruso, and the community members who braved the windy conditions to attend her town hall. The next town hall will be at the Windward Community College in Kaneohe on March 10th, starting at 7 p.m. if you were not able to make this last one. And what's next for the Congresswoman? The House Agriculture Committee is set to hold a markup on the Farm Bill in late February. Congresswoman Tokuda continues to work closely with her Republican and Democrat colleagues to ensure the bill contains key policies and needed support for Hawaii farmers, ranchers, and producers. She has been going around the district speaking to those in those fields to get their ideas, share their experiences to inform this legislation. Does anyone have any questions that I can take back for answers?
Okay, stand by. Board members, just go ahead. Joe.
Just out of curiosity, will the representative be attending the State of the Union address tomorrow?
I have no clue yet. Don't know. Wish I could share.
Any
I'm
other
sure we'll
questions from
find
the
out.
board? Yep, go ahead, Erin.
Hi, thanks for being here this evening. Just want to send my big mahalo and thank you for Congresswoman for coming out to our community. I thought that she hosted a really good conversation and was able to navigate and hold court with us really honestly and shared important information. So just thank her enormously for coming out to our community and sharing kind of insider information. Being out in the Pacific, sometimes we don't get the firsthand accounts, but then also directly speaking to how federal policy is impacting us here in Hawaii. So it was really enlightening, especially the information about the incarcerations happening on our island for people of non-citizenship status or just people who are picked up by ICE officers. It was kind of a new awareness for me in the sense that you can read about it, but that it's actually happening in our community. So appreciate her being here.
I'll pass on the.
Any other board members, questions? Any other board members? From the community, any question for Representative Congresswoman? No. And virtually, any questions? None. Okay. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to our Army representative, Lieutenant Gogo.
Good evening. U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii is holding its next hiring fair on March 17th at the Mililani High School cafeteria, beginning at 8:30 a.m. and ending at 2 p.m. There will be aviation day training on February 27th, and artillery, mortar, and demolitions training will continue till the end of this week. U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii MWR is extending an invite to all the members of our community for an upcoming fun run through Kolikoli Pass. That will be on February 25th. And then this is a reminder about the Army prescribed burns. The primary dates are still April 13th through the 19th. And then I have the answers to some of the questions that were asked last month. We had a question about Drum Road. Drum Road is more than 23 miles long and includes both paved and unpaved sections, steep embankments, and multiple gated access points managed by several unique landowners. Portions of the road are unimproved gravel and dirt. During moderate to heavy rainfall, several low water crossings become impassable. The roadway is also subject to regular fallen trees, rockfall, and erosion. Due to recent weather conditions, portions of Drum Road present high risk to travel. We had a question about the light near the Maycomb Gate. U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii's Department of Emergency Services has been coordinating with the Hawaii Department of Transportation regarding traffic flow near the Maycomb Gate. HDOT completed a traffic study in September of 25. The Army has adjusted gate hours where feasible to help reduce congestion. However, traffic signal timing outside the installation falls under HDOT jurisdiction. U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii remains willing to coordinate with HDOT on traffic-related concerns. A big topic last week was about the U-turns in traffic by the McNair Gate. To clarify, in the morning from 5 a.m. to 6:30 a.m., the McNair Gate doesn't let anyone out. So that's why if you see people going up, like it looks like the wrong side, it's authorized during that time. But as we all kind of knew, since it is off post, like the Army can't really like the military police can't do anything about that. But U.S. Army Garrison has been pushing through like the leadership channels just to practice safe and responsible driving. But ultimately that is up to HPD to catch those people doing that. We had a question about what insecticide is being injected into the palm trees. U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii follows the same coconut rhino beetle treatment protocols used across the state of Hawaii. The primary insecticide used for palm injections is imidacloprid. I don't know if I said that right. I'm sorry. Which is applied directly into the tree through a targeted trunk injection. This method helps limit exposure to surrounding soil, water, and non-targeted plants. To reduce impacts on pollinators, flowers are removed from palms before treatment. Additionally, fruit from treated palms is not consumed for 1 year following the final treatment. An environmental assessment conducted on commonly used coconut rhino beetle treatment methods found no significant long-term environmental impacts when applied according to established protocol. The Army continues to follow state-approved integrated pest management practices and works closely with state and university experts to ensure treatments are safe, effective, and environmentally responsible. And then Representative Peruso had a question about the bridge through East Range. The bridge along this route has weight limits and is restricted to controlled single lane traffic. Because of those limitations, it is not considered a reliable option for large-scale evacuation traffic. In addition, East Range Road itself includes unpaved sections that can become muddy and difficult to pass during heavy rainfall. In wet conditions, vehicles can become stuck, which would create safety concerns and limit dependable access during an emergency. For these reasons, East Range Road cannot be identified as a primary evacuation route. U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii continues to coordinate with state and county partners to support safe and effective emergency planning for the surrounding communities. Are there any questions?
Any questions from the board? Go ahead.
Hi, thank you for being here, Kungi Fachoy, and appreciate the information about Drum Road. Well, what was the question that was asked of you regarding Drum Road?
What's the present day condition?
What's the present day condition? Okay, thank you so much.
Who was the contact person that we could reach if we don't?
I'm sorry, Mr. Frencher, would you please take the mic?
Yeah, actually, the question that I did ask was who was the contact person at the garrison that we could talk to?
So are you able to provide that information that Board Member Francher asked?
I can take it back. I don't have the contact person. I just know that the condition right now because of the weather is not great.
Okay, great. We look forward to your report next month. Thank you so much.
Any other questions from the board? Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Thank you, Mahalo, for your report. Just as a follow-up to the last announcement that you made about East Range, that road, are there any alternatives for evacuation use for the community then, if that's the response that we're getting from Army?
I can take that back. I personally don't know.
Oh, great. No, thank you. Yeah, I would love to see if there's other options. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from board members? Okay, from the community? Yes, please go to the microphone.
And while our community member is moving up, if you could please, if you're going to go to the mic, if you could please identify yourself, say your name slowly so that our minute takers can get the correct information. Mahalo.
Aloha, my name is Nani Brown. I just wanted to see if you could spell the chemical that's being injected so I could write it down. And then wanted to verify which studies were done to make sure that 1 year would pass the full amount of the chemical. Yes.
It's I-M, like Mary, I-D-A-C-L-O-P-R-I-D. ID. So there's no, there's that O is not there. Sure.
I'm
Well,
gonna
I will
repeat.
take back about the studies because I personally don't know.
Let me repeat it for everyone because I think everyone is trying to write that down. If I heard it correctly, I heard I, M as in Michael, I, D as in dog, A, C, L, O, P as in Peter, R as in roach, I, D as in dog.
Romeo. That would be Romeo, not Roach.
I was looking at it and I was like, R, what's the R? I don't know.
That'd be some
We
quick.
gotta find, we find humor in our camaraderie.
I think it's some real quick.
Any other questions? Any other questions for our, I know, we are born and bred country. Where are we? Any other questions for our military? Okay, and virtual, any questions for our military? Okay, thank you very much, Attendant. Okay, moving on to our next agenda item is from the Navy. Is Daniel Sanford here? I didn't see it.
Not seeing it right online.
Yeah. Daniel? Going once?
Nobody.
No, okay. Okay, we're gonna move on down. If he comes on board, then we'll pick him up. Moving on to our government agencies, Board of Water Supply.
Good evening, Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Chair.
Yes.
Yes. Good evening, Chair. Board members and members of the community. I am Chief Jose Jaen. That is spelled Jose Jaen, and I'm currently filling in for Daniel Sanford. And I have a few quick items for you this evening, if that's okay.
Yes, that's terrific. Nice to meet you.
Likewise. Hopefully, we'll get to meet all of you in person here soon. So my items for you this evening, starting with our weekly Molelo. That's our weekly newsletter that goes out every Wednesday around noon time frame. If anyone would like to be added to that distro, please let Mr. Stanford know, and he'll be happy to send that information over to me, and I'll get you added over to that distro, okay? Moving along, we have monthly ship tours. Those happen on Saturday mornings from 0900 to 1045, and is an excellent opportunity to get a group together, get to the base, get on the ship, and see what sailors do on a day-to-day while the ship is in port. I think it's a great opportunity, so I would take full advantage if you haven't visited an active naval ship. Moving along to community white boats, we host those. That's for those of you who don't know, the white boats is a tour of Pearl Harbor and the Arizona Memorial, and that is for you, the community members. Our next one is Thursday the 26th at 1600, so 4 p.m. Again, if you have the same thing with the ship tours, if you have a group that is interested in a community white boat, let us know and then we'll get you signed up. The requirement for that is there's a lot more people for that, so that's where it gets tricky scheduling, but don't let that deter you from reaching out. And last but not least, La Lima Navy, as you all, I'm sure you're aware, we wrapped up the year with 292 projects and programs that benefit the community, and La Lima has not stopped. We've essentially extended out that program throughout this year. It's a little bit different. We're not shooting for acts, essentially. Our goal is to highlight 10 big events that the community could join the military in, and of course, we'll wrap up and keep it going for the years to come. Standing by for any questions.
Okay, thank you for that quick report. Board members, any questions for our Navy family? Yeah, go ahead, TJ.
Actually, not a question. Thank you so much for filling in for Dan. And I know you mentioned the La Lima project. And so for those of you who don't know what the La Lima project with the Navy is, it's an opportunity for the Navy to volunteer within the different communities. So last summer, in partnership with the Hawaii Food Bank, Mr. Sanford and his volunteers came out each week for 9 weeks to help us load boxes to keep our keikis fed through the Cow for Keiki program. And those boxes weighed about 25 pounds. So we are gearing up for Cow for Keiki again, and we look forward to having you folks out there joining us again through the La Lima project. But thank you again. I just wanted to say mahalo for being here tonight.
Yeah, and that's a
Thank
great
you. I
report.
appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, that's a great reminder. Oh, yes, go ahead, Erin.
Hi, thanks for being here. I had asked a question a couple times ago, and I think I got some answers for it, but it was just an overview of what projects are being completed and if they've been completed at the Navy. There was a submarine dry dock that was being done, and I was questioning about the EPA coverage of what I know that civilians had been working to monitor, but they had lost their jobs in that kind of unit of purview. Could you follow up on that? Is the Navy submarine dry dock complete?
So I appreciate the question. I really do. Mr. Sanford asked me, well, not asked me, but he let me know that if this question did come up, that he will get back to you directly via email.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Okay. Thank you for that. Any questions from the board? Okay, from the community, any questions for our Navy? And virtually, any questions for our Navy? All right. Thank you very much and nice meeting you again. Please give
Thank
our
you so
regards.
much. Thanks for the opportunity. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to our Department of Transportation. Fawn? Hey, nothing. Okay. Okay, we're going to move on. Right now, we are in a residents' concerns and community announcement. Any residents who have an announcement or concerns, please go up to the microphone.
My name is Terrence Sumida. I'm with Marcus Property Management. Well, I manage a building in Wahiawā on Olive and Cam Highway. And last week, the police started like tagging all the tenants' cars that were parked on the road. So HPD told me to come and talk to you guys and see if there's anything you guys can help us with. Apparently somebody complained, but you know, that area, it's been parking for the tenants like for decades, and it's hurting the businesses. So I have signed like complaint letters from the businesses if you guys want, but
Okay, well, yeah, you can give that to our okay, but question, when you bring this up, it's on Olive and Kamehameha.
yeah, right across from McDonald, you know where,
With
right
the-
across
at
from
the
McDonald, water
intersection.
building, yeah.
Okay, and so what was happening and when did this happen?
This
What
was,
details that you know of?
I think this was on last week Thursday, but from what the police told me was that somebody grumbled, and then so they had to start tagging, and then so it's just hard because you know like they're talking about a sidewalk, but they're you know why old yeah like no more like an actual sidewalk, so it's just kind of gray, and there's one sign on a pole, but it's more up the street. So, it's just real gray, this thing.
But I think we need clarification. So is the issue at the intersection
A
of?
little bit before the
So
intersection.
before, so you're.
Yeah, in front of Dongyang,
So it's
and
directly in that area,
yeah,
so it's the middle of the street. It's not up, it's in the middle of that block.
yeah, rough,
And
yeah.
So the issue is parking in front of Dongyang, or is the issue parking on the
Uh,
street?
It's like, it's on the street, but it's right connected to our parking lot.
Which is your parking lot? What is your parking?
The
lot?
water building, Maui
Yeah, the
Mike.
water, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. The front side, like right in front of our lot, there's like space where cars usually park, but they're tagging them now.
Okay.
And Chair, if I could just clarify, if I'm not mistaken, because I, as well as most of you in here who are from the area, know that there is a no parking sign in front of that area.
Yeah,
And
in front of Dongyang, there's
Right,
like
correct.
one pole with one sign.
Correct. But that
think-
sign is still relevant to the area. So whether or not they only started tagging now,
Yeah.
or if they were tagging from 20 years ago, that is still a no parking area. And it's because of exactly what you said, because of the sidewalks. Now, if I understand correctly, there is parking on the backside of your building. And if I also remember correctly, businesses like Dongyang allow their patrons to come in through the back door. So thank you for bringing that to us. But I just wanted to clarify that because I also had gotten a phone call. I'm not sure if she was a business owner or a resident of the area, but I did tell her, did you not or do you not see the no parking sign up there? And there is a red and white no parking sign. And I actually called over to the city and county with their traffic division, and they said, yes, that is a valid no parking sign. So again, whether or not HPD was actively enforcing it prior to now, and it's because we tell people, and you folks have all, you know me, I tell you, if there is a concern, please make it known, provide your evidence, whether it's through the neighborhood board or through the city's 311 app or through the councilman's office. So again, I get where the businesses might be hurting for lack of parking, but how many stalls do you have right on the backside of Maui Mike's? And how many parking stalls do you have on the backside of Dongyang? Because I know that that is also your property.
No, Dongyang's not mine.
Dongyang is not your property. So Maui Mike's, that
Yeah,
complex
the
right there.
complex in the front, and then
So you've
those-
got the hula studio,
yeah,
and I
the
think
Hula
you've a
studio,
couple other shops
Clip
right
and
there.
Dip, yeah.
Mhm. And how many stalls do you have in that parking?
In that parking lot?
Correct.
Maybe like 10,
I was
12
thinking
tops.
8 or 9.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, it's real small. that
Actually, I can tell you that you have more than 12 in that parking.
I don't know if I'm more than
Center.
12. It's
Okay.
Yeah.
maybe like
wait.
5 or
But yeah,
6.
anyway, there is a no parking sign.
Wait.
Yeah, no, I know what sign you're
yeah,
talking about, but it's more,
gotcha.
that's in front of the Dongyang building though.
Okay, hold on one
But
second.
I'm not asking for any special treatment. I'm just
But-
asking if, because this is just kind of sudden, if there could be some kind of, grace period or something, or
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
just something. I'm trying to help
Yeah.
my tenants, yeah.
yep, no, hold on one second. Okay, we have a question from our board member. I'm gonna come back to you. Go ahead.
I think what he's talking about is right in front of the where his parking lot is. There is no sign there, but if you go to the beginning of that block to corner Walker and Olive, that's where the no parking sign is.
Yeah, so I can also add to that,
And so
because I
if
did,
we're going to enforce, I think maybe another sign needs to be put up on the sidewalk area, the pavement sidewalk area,
yeah,
the asphalt sidewalk area, to be clear.
right. So, right. Your microphone, yeah.
Yeah, I think what he's really asking for is some communication from HPD
Yeah.
and some leeway a little bit.
Yeah, some
Give it
warning
kind of-
and stuff,
yeah.
because, my tenants, they're just getting attacked with all these tickets and, they don't know what's going on and,
Yeah.
you know.
So just to add, the reasons I can add to that a little bit is that I also received a call. So today I went to look in the area.
Uh-huh.
So if you were to drive all the way in the back to the state park and you come outward, just to get a full view of everything, right? So I drove all the way into the park and I came out. And on the right-hand side, at every pole, there's a no parking sign on the right, all the way. And then you come to the intersection and there's one no parking sign on the corner, on the opposite corner of McDonald's, right on that intersection. And actually on that pole there, I think there were 3 no parking signs tapped, nailed in. And then further down, as you go towards Marima, there were some cars parked. And I don't know what caused the issue, but apparently it was a complaint, like he said. I'm not sure what the complaint was, but it was about the people who are parking and not getting tagged. Like the cars should be removed because there are signs that are said no parking. But I understand what the frustration, right? If this has never happened until now, but the rule is there, the sign is posted, but I think what you're looking for, what you're suggesting is that maybe there should have been some communication before it took place or something of that nature, right? That maybe put up signage effective next week, Monday, we're going to start tag or something. Because I've seen that happen too. I've seen those type of signs go up too. But in this case, those vehicles were already tagged, right? And so I'm not sure what can be done at this point, but HPD has already left, but we can always ask to see if there's anything. But I think because it's already on record, I think it's already there. But moving forward, like June was saying, maybe the signage could be a different signage so it's clearer, like from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. or something, because, in the evening, people do go to Dongyang, and stuff. So maybe there's an option to moving forward to resolve this in a better way for you and your clients as well. So before you leave, give me your name and number and, we'll find out. Yeah. Okay.
That letter.
And he's gonna give me the copy of the. Yeah.
I'll push it over to the.
Can I just make a comment?
Yes, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I think clear signage is better. I mean, it is one of the answers to this. The sign that we're talking about is real clear in front of Dongyang.
Yeah.
But I've parked on where he's
Yeah.
saying, I've done that many times, thinking it's okay.
Right.
Because many people do, and then for all of a sudden it to be illegal and to get a ticket is surprising. So
Right.
if a sign could be put there, then I won't do that anymore, and neither will others.
Yeah. And allegedly, that signage, that no parking sign was initially placed there like 35 years ago. So that sign has been supposed to be in effect for the last 35 years ago. But anyway, any other questions on this issue? We will be looking further into it as we'll make contact with HPD. But otherwise, our next person, if you could introduce yourself.
Yes, aloha. My name is Don Gito Glover. I'm no relationship with Danny Glover, the movie star. I am a 40-year Whitmore Village local brother. The reason I'm here tonight with a concern is that they're bringing stuff into our neighborhood without coming in and asking us permission. The director said that he would have a meeting and talk to the residents about the tank trucks that come in. I see them every day that I'm going out. I go out on every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Today, 3 big tanker trucks came in and they're dumping something in the ground right down here on the left side. The last meeting I attended, they said they was going to look into it because the director of the board did not know about this, whatever they're bringing in, dumping into our community. But I'm concerned about the health of that. And I hate to wait till it's too late and say, I told you so. So we need to start looking into it. If the board would help us out, we really appreciate that. Thank you.
Can you hang around after and I'll talk to you after the meeting?
I'd be more than happy to.
Very good. Thank you very much. Okay, next up to the mic.
Aloha.
Wait a minute. Are you?
We're
Wait,
good.
that's my mic.
I feel you. Hi, my name is Cornelius. This is my wife, Emily, and we're outreach directors at Kings Mililani, soon to be Kings Central. And we're just going through the community and see how we can lock arms and provide services to the community. So we're putting on an event coming up February, April 3rd, Good Friday at Kala Elementary, just so we can lock arms and love on the community. So We're just going from community to community. We did Mililani. We're in Wahiawā now. We meet at the old dots at 10 o'clock on Sundays. We're just reaching our hands out here to this community and work our way all the way out to North Shore.
April 3rd, what are the hours?
So
Oh, 30th.
it'll be from 9 to 11. It's an Easter extravaganza. Yeah, there's going to be free food, free games, candy for the kids. There'll be 10,000 eggs.
10,000
Yeah, so we really
eggs.
want to pour back into the community. We're brand new. We were originally called Kings Mililani, but God has called us to Wahiawā, and we're going to hit all the 5 regions, and that's why we're changing our name to King Central. So we're here again. We're at the old dots. Our services are from 10 to 12. Yeah, and any way that we can help. Yeah, we'd love to help. We'd love to be there. And we have Minister Kerry, who's part of Wahiawā, born and raised. So yeah, thank you for having us.
Okay, thank you very much. Oh, we have a question, real quick question. Go ahead, Joe.
Just out of curiosity, is this a religious organization?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So come see. I know you guys couldn't miss me. Say hi.
Okay, anybody else for the mic?
Hello, everybody. Tom Lenchenko, Whitmore resident. I just wanted to make the community aware of some things that's been going on for a while now. I'm here to advocate on Ko Hawaii Pai Aina, Ku Honua Kukane Loko, Ko Hakuloa Mokupuni Hawaii. I wrote these notes down. I sent you folks one email this morning. I hope you had a chance to review it, because I'm here to petition your service and help to consult on this issue regarding including the committee chairs and members of the military, the government, and the Hawaiian Affairs Committee, and others if you think you are necessary to communicate interest. Basically, I have 5 concerns that regard our land. The first is
Anakala.
Yeah, excuse me,
Ekala Mai.
somebody's talking.
Excuse me, Anakala. For those of you that are outside, I don't think you realize that we can hear you talking all the way from in here, and it's kind of disrespectful to our speaker. So if you folks could maybe step onto the other side of the wall and continue your conversation, we really would like to respect the space and time of our speaker. Ekala Mai.
Go ahead, go ahead, Tom.
Okay. Basically, what this is I addressed the State Department of Enforcement when they had that Farm Bureau issue there. The director, Mike Lambert, and also the state chair, Mark Hano, to investigate the land title jurisdiction for that property, because we assume that it affects the crown and government lands of the Pu'uhonua Kukane Loko. So that was number 1. Number 2, it's concerning a lien that was placed against that property, and I think we also submitted one for Hakaloa, is a security title 15 United States Code, a claim of commercial lien and affidavit for crown and government land and its jurisdiction on title. Okay, so that was for that project there. I got no response from the state because I don't think the state can investigate the state. So we just have to let that ride and hope that something comes up in the future. I also addressed the Secretary of the Army, Dan Driscoll, and also the Provost Marshal General Sarah Richard to also justify and investigate who has validation of contract chain of title and chain of insurance to crown and government lands throughout the islands of Hawaii. It is very important for us to get this clarification. Although we may live in Whitmore Village, but we're still impacted because of the nature of the land we're on. So it's very important. You cannot look the other way. This is becoming more and more detrimental to our existence here in Hawaii. You know, we're too far away from America. And I think we're still an independent kingdom, my own opinion. The Treaty of Peace, which is really the Treaty of Eternal Peace, in 1849, 1850 between Kauikul and Kamehameha III and the 12th President of the United States, Zachary Taylor. Understanding that from the United States Constitution, Article 6, Supremacy Law, Clause 2, any treaty that is created between a nation and the United States of America, that treaty now becomes the law of the land. Until today, that treaty has not been rescinded in any form between the two contracting parties, which would be the Kingdom of Hawaii and the United States of America. So did America breach its contract with the Kingdom of Hawaii? You know, you cannot destroy the Newlands Resolution, did not change the impact of any treaty with the Kingdom of Hawaii and some 120 odd nations around the world. Yeah, so when the supposed annexation took place, the treaty, the Newlands Resolution, did not change any status between our understanding of treaty law. We still have consulates on Pali Highway that establishes that it still exists today. Very important. And I already explained that we already put the commercial lien also on Oahu law. This is very concerning because I think when Secretary Driscoll came in and met with the governor doesn't have the authority to exchange properties, you know, that he is not responsible for. We need to make this clear, and we make to make it understood that we cannot be trading dollar amounts for Crown property, Crown and government property. It is very important. If the treaty is still in existence, all those are binding upon the United States of America to comply with their own law. It's very critical right now. And last, I could talk some more, but I will hold this to the yeah. And this is about the Hague 4 Convention. And this was to Articles 54, 56, Laws and Customs of War on Land. This was in October 18, 1907. This became very critical because it also is inclusive. If you include the Geneva Convention, it will include what we call the law of the land warfare. And in chapter 6 of that article, which is under the Field Manual 27-10, which the Army is responsible and obligated to uphold, that this law is very important to the success of convening government relationship. So I thank you for listening to my grumble, but it is very important that we all play a part in this because this is our last chance.
Thank you. And one quick question, June.
Tom, is this a litigation then?
Well, if you want to take the case.
No, I
Well,
mean,
it's
I'm
out-
just asking.
It's out there already. It's out there already. And like I said, the state cannot investigate itself. So it has to find somebody. So we have to go to the United States Secretary of the Army. Hopefully we can get to the Department of War and then eventually meet with the President of the United States for whatever time he's got left to make one decision on this, because it is that sincere to take our land that they have no responsibility or care of. Yeah, it's our land. It's our land. Yeah.
So,
Thank you, Tom.
Chair,
Thank
maybe-
you, Tom. Wait, thank you, Tom, for always teaching us. We appreciate that.
Chair, maybe we should consult the commission to get a legal opinion if
N-
to get
yeah, he's
involved or
sharing
not.
right now. So we're not at that. Okay, next on the line.
Aloha, Nani Brown again. I want to thank you for giving us this information on imidacloprid. And a quick, okay, again, my name is Nani Brown. I love farmers, I love food, and I hate people messing with our food, and I hate pesticides. So here we are. A quick Google search landed me on imidacloprid is a long-lasting systemic insecticide with a soil half-life ranging from several months to over a year and up to 1,230 days. It mentions that it breaks down in sunlight, but it's stable in water. We live in Wahiawā. It also mentions that it, hold on. I had to screenshot it because I don't have good service over here. Due to its high solubility, it has the potential to contaminate groundwater and surface water. Pollinator safety, it is heavily linked to declines in bee populations and is restricted in some regions. It is considered moderately toxic to humans and pets, but highly toxic to beneficial insects, particularly pollinators. We live in Wahiawā. We depend on our water. We just did a big old fight not to put a landfill here due to our aquifer. What good was that fight when we got these guys spraying this stuff here in our community? And that means that more than 1 year, in order to be safe for our people, our lahui as a whole, everybody who has coconut trees, we have to wait over 4 years to make sure that that stuff is gone out of this system. And we don't know if it's going to be all the way out of our soil because it's stable in water. And again, we know where we live. It's very wet here. So I would like to implore the Army and the state of Hawaii to immediately stop. And we've already come across a number of organic remedies to this situation, including steam, including EM1. And these are all organic, non-toxic, and do not affect our coconut is now a Hawaiian food source, and it should have always been, to be honest, more so than pineapples, if you're asking me. But I just wanted to get this information out, and since she spelled it out, we can all do that Google search for ourselves. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. And Joe, real quick question or comment.
Since your report on this chemical is coming from a Google search, I would recommend that you talk to Lieutenant Gogol about meeting up with whoever it is that's in the Army or in the garrison that is proposing the chemical and understand what are the effects that they understand and what you have picked off Google, and perhaps work with them to try to understand a different method.
No, I do understand. So I also work with Daniel Anthony, who is one of the primary guys who does another organic remedy. And he was the guy who put it through to make coconut an official food source of Hawaii. And I've also talked to Lance Steam. I just didn't know the exact chemical that they were using, but also I know that the Army has a particular, and the military in general has a reputation of misleading us in a number of things that they do. And so I took this time to be a little more specific right exactly now.
Still, I would recommend that you work with Lieutenant Gogol on finding who you could discuss this with on the Army, because telling us about this is great, but it's the Army that's using the chemical, not us.
Oh, no, I understand. And I fully intend to. And I was at the legislature earlier today.
Thank you.
No, well, they don't care what.
Please use the microphone.
yeah.
Please use the microphone.
The military is generally uninterested in the bills that we pass, especially regarding pesticides.
Okay, thank you. Moving on, everyone. We got to move on. We've got, hey, next one.
Aloha, Chair Ishikawa, members of the board. Nice seeing some familiar faces, members of the community. Patrick Watson, Honua Consulting Public Information Management, and I'm just here with a brief announcement to say that I'm here to share with the board and the community that Honua Consulting will be assisting the Wahiawā Pedestrian Bridge construction team with community outreach by helping to facilitate future community meetings that will be announced on the project website once we have the dates and locations confirmed. I was kind of hoping I'd have those by now, but we're working on it. And as a reminder, the website can be found at wahiawapedbridge.com. wahiawapedbridge.com. I'm used to presenting online, so I can do my virtual text. Okay, and then we will also be sure to notify the board as soon as those meeting dates come up and are determined. And that's really kind of all I have to provide. Oh, and on the website, there's links that can take you to the DOT information as well regarding this. So there's the homepage about project schedule, progress, and contact information too. So if you have questions or concerns prior, so it's just kind of encouraging everybody to go to the website, check it out before we host these meetings. So you have, questions to ask us and we can kind of work this thing out together. So
Okay.
that's it.
That's it. But Patrick, thank you very much because this pedestrian bridge, we have worked on this for.
I understand.
We have aged on this one. So thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
We're looking for, can we give this one? I want to give a round of applause because this took a while to get done. Oh, wait, no,
I'm
wait, hold
sorry.
on. That's
Oh, yeah.
separate.
Pat, over
separate.
here.
Patrick.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a question for you though.
Okay.
The information, wahiawapedbridge.com.org.
.com. Yeah.
Is there a phone number that people can call for those of us who don't have access to the web or are not comfortable using the web? Is there a phone number that you can share with us?
Yes. It's
Fabulous.
actually, it's on the page. I don't have it.
I'm sorry. Oh, look at this. Board member Aaron Mendelson says 808-970-0827. And that is under QIT. So that is a great phone number to put in your pocket. But I know because a lot of our older population, a lot of us out there are not comfortable on the website. And because this is such a subject in our community, I think it's important that a phone number be also provided. So thank you very much.
I agree. And I apologize for not having that ready. I didn't know I was coming here till like today.
Okay, no, it's okay. One more question.
And then I
one
also,
more question from Joe. He's been waiting. Hold on. Go ahead, Joe.
So is Kiwi the contractor selected for this bridge?
Yes, for this project. Yeah.
Thank you.
Pat, I'm sorry, I have one more question. So looking online, it shows that the start of construction is March 17th, 2026. Is that still a good date? Because we are today at February 23rd.
Correct. I believe that's going to be pushed and they haven't yet updated the website to reflect that. But
Great. We will be looking forward to the updates. Thank you again for sharing tonight.
You're welcome.
Mahalo.
All right. Aloha, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Patrick, nice to see you. Okay, next.
Hi, Liz McCarthy from Wahiawā. Jeannie, last time I came to a board meeting, you said you were going to call Wahiawā Middle School and talk to the principal. Have you done that?
Yes, I have.
Did you find anything out?
They didn't, I'm sorry. They didn't seem to think there was the kind of issue that we brought up at our meeting.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah, they
Okay.
said it was kind of like, oh, it happens and it doesn't happen. She was very.
It's a big problem.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
was saying. But
It's a big problem. And I happened to call the vice principal. And do you know what he told me? I tried to come here when the police was here, but I didn't know the meeting was here. He said they're afraid of retaliation, so they won't do it.
Who's
The vice principal said that.
What are we talking about?
The cattle gate at,
Yeah.
so they have an open area. And just this afternoon, there was about 10 kids who went down there, popping wheelies, going down there, and school was still in session. Not in session, I'm sorry. The parking lot was still full of people. It was 3:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
So nobody's doing anything about it. That's my one concern. I'm hoping something will be done.
Well, that
My
is- yeah.
second concern is also at Wahiawā Middle School, they have an overabundant amount of cats and roosters running everywhere. All that feces is not good for kids. I have pictures. I took pictures. Kids are running around and there's a lot of roosters. My street and a street over went from, we brought up this problem 4 years ago. Within the last year, I bet we have 500% more roosters that are now loose everywhere in my neighborhood. I have worked in Hawaii on Oahu for 48 years and have just retired, and I cannot sleep. I'm up at 3:30 every morning. I have earned being able to sleep. It is every day, 7 days a week. My husband and I have a trail. We call the police. We do everything that everyone is telling us to. It's not getting better. It's getting worse because nobody's doing anything. I have tried.
Yeah.
I've talked to my neighbors. We go door to door. We ask them. Everybody's fit to be tied.
Yeah, but bottom line is, I think in general, so we don't have to belabor this one too much because it is frustrating. But I think in general, there are a lot of roosters and chickens. They're all over. They're all over the place. I mean, it's not just in your residence. It's not in your area. It's all of. Everybody has. We have roosters and chickens flying around in They just-
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, they're all over.
But what are we
But the thing
doing?
is, so that what used to be was the Humane Society used to, but
No,
they-
I know what it
yeah.
used to be. I've lived in Hawaii
Right.
almost my whole life.
Right.
So now I read the paper and they say they're going to try and do something
Right.
from Hawaii Kai to Pearl City. But what about from Pearl City over to here?
Right.
So I'm asking my board members, my community,
Mhm.
you people, what can we do about the problem? It's a problem.
It is. And so I'm saying to you that we can do the same thing in terms of making those requests. You know, it's not going to HPD. HPD doesn't go catching, it's Humane Society, or there are.
No,
there-
it does not go to Humane
Humane
Society.
Society will do some. They will do some.
I've
and-
talked to them 100 times.
Okay, well, I'm just, the one I've talked to said they'll go out and, you know, but they also there are groups of volunteers.
I've called them.
And because they go out here, I've seen them set up a few cages, but
I've
only a
called
few.
them.
So those are the only ones I've looked for as far
Have
as.
you, the neighborhood board, my neighborhood board where I live,
Mm-hmm.
have you folks as a group done anything about controlling the problem? That's because I don't know what else
Yeah.
to do.
Okay.
City issue.
Okay.
Excuse me. In
Okay.
our neighborhood,
Okay, wait,
my mother-in-law's place,
Yeah.
oh,
we
wait, Michelle.
just set traps ourselves. We didn't depend upon.
Okay, but if you
anybody
set
else. We
traps, what do
took
you
care-
do with the roosters then?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but what do I do with
Let's
them? I
just
say
say
kill up.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hold on 1 second.
This is a city entity, a city board. This is more of a state issue. We do have state representative and senators that tune in online, who I believe are online this evening, who I'm sure will take your concern. But this is a city entity, so the city really can't do much with the issue because it is a statewide issue. But to my understanding, at least for this legislative session, there is something in place to potentially combat roosters and chickens, at least to my knowledge. But I believe the senators and representatives are online. So if they're still online, you're still in the physical meeting room, I'm sure you can come up and ask them what's being done and they can clarify for you as well.
Okay.
Don't give up. See, we'll work together. We'll still figure it. But they're all over the place. That's a given. They're all over the place. Yeah, everybody knows that. That's what I mean. Everybody knows that. Okay, go ahead.
Aloha, my name is George Grace. I'm not from Wahiawā. I'm a waste hauler. By a show of hands, how many waste haulers here tonight? Yeah, so, we came in respect and no disrespect here. Yeah. Just not sure if this the meeting we should be talking about this.
Okay, so technically, is this going to be a long, because technically it's
Yes.
supposed to be 3 minutes with some Q&A.
Yes. So I'm suggesting,
Because I want to hear,
suggesting
I want to give you the time.
maybe we should set up another meeting where we all can speak, our concern
Okay.
as well as answer any questions, because if not, we're gonna be here all night.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm
You know,
saying.
so we come in respect.
Yeah.
And we just try to be nice about it. We're like everybody understand why we bring in domestic waste here. So if we're not gonna be on the agenda, then I don't suggest we
Wait,
talk about it.
Put you on the agenda now, but
Yes.
I can put you on the next agenda.
That's why I'm suggesting maybe a separate meeting
Yeah.
for us so that we all can go home humbly and not have to worry about, what we should have said or what we never said.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you able to give us like one snippet? Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. My bad. Are you able to give us one snippet so we have an idea of what the issue is so we can prepare, or you rather wait till we all together?
Well, I can just give you a short, yeah. So anything from Kahuku this way for Wailua, back in this area, there's no dump site for us. We got to take our waste all the way back to Eva Beach. And that's a big concern for the people on the North Shore as well as here. Price is going to go up for the dump halls. If we can or cannot respond to anybody's emergency, on the weekend or even during the day, because we limited to what we can dump. So it's not like we're trying to be a nuisance to the community. We have a reason why we dump in here, and it helps us to try to stay in business. So if it's going to be a problem where we lose this dump site, for us, it's going to be a problem, and we've shared that with the city that, we have our quarterly meetings and we get, put our heads together on what we can and cannot do. And then this was a concern at our last meeting.
Okay.
So again, we don't want to disrespect no one.
Right.
but we need to continue dumping until the city can come up with a better plan.
Okay. Okay, we're going to schedule, I'll put you on, because I do have one opening for next month, so we can put you on that. Well, before you leave, give me your contact information so I can email this
Okay.
stuff, okay? Or call you.
Did I
whichever.
cover everything?
Oh, is it connected with?
Yeah, he's from the
Yeah.
city. Oh, ENV.
Wait, is it, but that's our stuff. That's this, you, yeah. Right. Yeah, the microphone.
Mike, please use the microphone. Mahalo. And thank you, Mr. Grace.
Yeah, it's
if
just
you
that
could-
once we start asking questions,
No, I
it's
just
gonna go long.
Yeah, no, I just want the clarification on what, okay,
Okay, so
Yeah.
for the record, my name excuse me. My name is Michael Cummings. I'm from the City and County of Honolulu Department of Environmental Services. So I was requested to be here in person for your guys' meeting. One of the concerns that was brought up was obviously the location of the discharge site. But the other thing was the lack of notification. So I just kind of want to address all of that stuff here. Give you guys some background information. I don't know if I'm limited to 3 minutes or what. So it's 3 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
I'm gonna try my best to squeeze it in because
yeah,
I have
it's 3
some.
minutes with some Q&A allowed, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So, okay, ready. Okay. So I'm from ENV. So we permit the liquid waste haulers who service septic systems around the island who are not served by sewer. Approximately 11,000 cesspools and a few other thousand septic tanks are included. We have 5 discharge locations on the islands. I think I provided a map with the hours and where the locations are for the board members. So approximately at that location in the last year, we had about 2,933 dumping events. So each truck that comes in recorded as a dumping event. Island wide, it was about 15,629. ENV as a total, as a utility, we treat about 100 million gallons a day across 9 treatment plants on the island. At Whitmore, average day is about 22,000, give or take. And then for all the discharge sites combined, it's about 91,000 gallons a day. So okay, 1 minute down. So I gotta speed it up here. So just to give you guys some updates on how the sewage is transmitted through the PTF, it's collected from the residents. It flows through the PTFs. We call it the pretreatment facility. There's grinders and there's a grit removal system. And the reason why that is in place is because it goes through 2 pipes that are along side by side along the Karsten Thought Bridge. It's a siphon. So that pretreatment is necessary to make sure that the pipes don't get clogged. Also maintenance on those pipes because it's a closed conduit. It's very difficult. There's also another project, side note, we're in a design phase because there's a capacity issue. So on Kamehameha Highway and Whitmore Village, or Whitmore Ave, I think that's the road. There's a upsize. We're gonna have to do work for that. It's still in design, but because we did have a lack of communication, I just want to put it out there that it is a project that's coming down the pipeline. No pun intended. But anyways, so our private haulers, so the group, some of them are represented here. They are responsible for pumping out septic tanks, cesspools, and this waste cannot be taken to landfills. It has to somehow get into our wastewater treatment plant. Also, what we want to do, try to avoid is illegal dumping, having it going to our streams. We gotta protect our environment. So the city recognizes that that the private haulers provide an essential service to the residents who are not connected. They also provide portable toilet services, which are essential for construction sites, outdoor events, and farms. Shucks, I'm running out of time, but I want to run through the timeline.
Go ahead, go finish it.
Okay.
Finish it.
Of
yeah.
how things happen. So basically, what happened is for our central location, we had a discharge site in Pearl City that was closed in August of 2024 due to regulatory requirements from EPA and DOH. So what that did is that took that location out of the equation as far as available sites for these guys to discharge at. We had we call it a bad load that came in January 31st, 2025 at our Kahuku wastewater treatment plant. That effectively killed a lot of the microorganisms in our plant, which we need. So what we did in response was on February 18th of 2025, we opened the Whitmore PTF as a regulated discharge location for the haulers. I'm just gonna, I'm about done. I'm gonna wrap things up soon. Okay, so on November 10th of 2025, we met with Rep Peruso, Yvonne from her office. I think Uncle Tom was there, and Council Member Wire. Yeah. So people from the City Council's office, and basically to talk about this new facility that the neighborhood was not made aware of. So what we're trying to do is our immediate first steps is we installed a blower, a suction blower to try and mitigate some of those odors. You guys probably see that yellow holes over at the facility right now on December 8th of 2025. Looking forward, what we are trying to do is get our Kahuku septage facility up and running within the next few months. However, that process has been proving challenged because it's been down for over a year now. And there's a lot of operational challenges with getting that plant up and running. As far as I think there was some traffic concerns with the Whitmore, the tankers coming in. So to our understanding, all the trucks are getting off the highway. If they are parking along the shoulder causing a hazard, please let us know. That's not allowed. And so I'm gonna provide a phone number to call for complaints. And as Mr. Grace said, we look forward to working with you guys. If we have to set up follow-up meetings, we definitely want you guys to be part of the discussion. And I'll just say it up front, I apologize for not letting you guys know in advance about getting this facility stood up. So I kind of had to cut it a bit short, but that's my abbreviated version. So open for questions.
I appreciate it, but you didn't give us a number yet?
Sorry. Okay.
Oh, it's on the paper?
Yeah, it's on the paper, but for everyone online, I can give you guys the number. So the number is 768-3263. So that is the contact person for who is in charge of the program. And then also I'll leave the flyers, and if you could hand them out to the community members, that would be good. It has other information on there.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up. It was good information for us to hear. Mr. Grace and your group, thank you for being here. I need your number too, but we'll coordinate a meeting. But I know we have a slot next month, so if that would work for you folks. But if you want to meet earlier, then let's meet. We'll talk and find a date if we want to have a more not the whole group yet, but just to have a talk story session. Maybe we can do that to hammer it out. But I guess my question is, one question before you go is, what is a concern? I mean, or explain the concern real quickly. I mean, so you're building a new facility, but you don't want the facility, or you want the facility, or you don't have a place to dump. What is the one issue that you can just quickly put a pin on it?
The
for us?
location of the facility matters.
Okay, so
Imagine we got to drive from Wailua to Eva Beach.
Right.
So it's convenience.
Okay, convenience
and save the customer money, and we can better respond to emergencies.
Okay. All right. So a quick question.
Real quickly, on your paper, you said you had 9 receiving sites. How many receiving
So
sites are there?
there's 9 treatment plants. So that's like Palakai has one. That's what's pipe, I guess, from our houses. Eventually it goes through pump stations and gravity lines and ends up at a treatment plant. So
Okay, so
those
you have
regional
7
facilities.
of these.
So of the discharge sites, we have 5 total. The ones that are in green are the ones that are open. The ones that are in the shaded, one's Kahuku, because that one's got down because of the bad load that we got year or so ago. There is also Sand Island that we're standing up. We're trying to get it operational within the next few months or so. But yeah, I guess what I wanted just to highlight is on the map you can kind of see where all the sites are, and it's for the ENV's goal is that we're trying to make it more regional so that waste is not having to be trucked from across the island. You know, people don't have to necessarily deal with stuff coming from across the island, cutting down on operational costs for the haulers. You know, that's fuel, overhead, wear and tear on their vehicles, and also like George said, it's going to eventually going to have to be passed on to the customer. So we're trying to balance the two, and yeah, we can definitely open to have more conversation
Okay,
about
and
this.
then, okay, one question here, and I have 2 online, and then we're gonna wrap it up with standby. Go ahead.
Mike, you mentioned Mr. Cummings, and thank you for sharing. And if you folks didn't get it, he did bring copies of this for the community to have. I think it's out there at the table. But you mentioned operational challenges at Kahuku. What exactly are you talking about, operational challenges? Because anyway, I'm gonna let you answer that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
And I think a separate community meeting should be had. While we'd be happy to have you on the agenda. And I didn't even talk to the chair, but I don't think this topic would be able to suffice in 10 minutes during a neighborhood board meeting. So if you folks wouldn't mind hosting a community meeting here, I'm sure we can talk to the park director to have something here and have a more robust one topic meeting about that. So if you could, again, what are the operational challenges that are preventing you from opening Kahuku up?
Okay, thank you for that question. So it kind of boils down to 2 things. The first thing is that the infrastructure, as we all know, across the island, it's getting older. Things are breaking and need to be replaced. So that's that component of the whole equation. The second thing that's really challenging is that from a design flow, so what the plant at Kahuku was designed and constructed to accept, it's a very small amount compared to, say, like the larger treatment plants. Say, for instance, I think the daily flow is about 500,000 gallons a day at Kahuku. That's what it's designed for. Honolulu out in Everplains gets about 26 million gallons a day. Sand Island over in Metro is about, don't quote me on this, but I think it's about close to 70 million gallons a day. So what that entails is basically when the septage loads comes in, when you get a lot of those high flows, it gets diluted because it is a little bit more higher strength wastewater. So the larger plants can handle that type of, we call it kind of like a slug, kind of a shock load. When these type of events happen over at Kahuku, because the flow is so small, I mean, just a small amount of a very toxic substance can wipe out all of our biology in that plant. So it's a very kind of delicate thing to try to balance. I'm not an operator myself, but we do work with the operators, and that's one of the big challenges. Even at Pa'alakai, like if they even see they'll notice little changes in the color of the influent coming in. It's very, very sensitive, the smaller treatment plants.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm going to ask you one more. And I would like for you at the next community meeting, whether it be here at the neighborhood board meeting or at a separate meeting, I would like for you to tell me what's going to happen in 2050 when the EPA comes down, because all of the cesspools that are currently here on Oahu all have to be shut. Because I do know that the wastewater, the Whitmore pretreatment facility is mostly household sewage. So what's going to happen in 2050? And you're talking about infrastructure, because it doesn't make sense to spend a ton of money on fixing the infrastructure or upgrading the infrastructure when in 2050, which is actually 24 years away, when all of that is not going to be used. So take that. When we meet again, I would love to get an answer from you.
Can I give you a brief response to that? So I can speak on the city and county side. The jurisdiction of cesspools and septic tanks that falls over on the state. So I'm gonna defer to them to provide. I don't want to provide info on that. I don't want to speak on that matter. But for us, like I said, we're trying to, as a city and county, try to, even though we have only certain people who are hooked up to our sewers, we're trying our best to service even the people who don't have sewer service. And part of that is having adequate opportunities for the haulers to discharge their septage when they pump their loads out. So, but if you want to have a conversation after, we can talk about it.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you also, Mr. Grace, for coming out here and sharing.
Okay, thank you. And wait,
thank you.
I'm sorry, we have two online that have been waiting for a long time. So two online. Oh, Andrew is one. Go ahead.
Aloha, Chair, members of the board. My name is Andrew Pomsavan. For the record, I'm Vice Chair of the Pololo Neighborhood Board. But I'm here on a personal capacity as my family is a tenant at the shopping center that was talked about in the beginning of the meeting. Regarding the no parking signs, I'm not here to accuse if it's a legitimate no parking sign or not, but we've witnessed random people ununiformed installing the signs 5 months ago on Olive in front of the fish market, a pole in front of the fish market and a pole in front of the Hawaii hot pot shabu shabu house pole. And I'm not sure if whose jurisdiction this is, but I'm not sure if it's regulation for a HECO pole to have a no parking sign on it. It's just the P with the X. And I just would want if that's a state road or if a city road, to be anybody online or in person to follow up to just double check for us if those signs are legitimate. And if so, no parking is fine.
Okay, Andrew, thank you very much. And I can say that I was told, but I will double check, that there was someone there witnessing the signs being put up, the recently no parking signs. But that was on the corner by where the hot pot is in that area.
Right.
But otherwise, there are no parking signs that I went down to look at. I went to the end of the road, and coming out of the road on the right-hand side, there were no parking signs on every telephone pole or utility pole on that side. But I don't know when those signs went up, but I did go to look for it today before the meeting.
Right. I would want to follow up on just to double check if those signs are legitimate or not. And if it is, no problem.
No problem, absolutely, because it should be the regular city sign, the white sign with the red outline and
Yes.
the parking. That it should be that one. Okay.
Yes.
So Andrew,
Carmen.
I'm sorry.
Carmen.
Okay, I'm sorry. Andrew will get back with you.
Mahalo.
Thank you. And then Carmen. Carmen,
If she's talking, we can't hear her.
we can't hear you. Hi, Carmen. Can you hear us?
We can't hear her still.
We can't hear you. I'm sorry.
If she wants to put her concern in the chat, I can log it down for the.
Oh, suggestion. Do you want to put your question or concern in the chat and then we can read it out loud?
Okay.
I don't know if that's a yes or no, but we'll come back. If you're doing that, I see her typing. We'll come back to you. Okay, Ethan.
Everyone, I wanted to continue the conversation a little bit about the water building on Olive Street. I had the opportunity the other day to speak with the owner of the jewelry store there, and he expressed similar frustrations that have already been discussed over the course of the meeting regarding recent ticketing after having been able to park along that sidewalk for a very long time. And he also said that he observed individuals who didn't appear to be city officials tacking up those no parking signs on the telephone poles and was wondering whether or not those were legitimate signs and why there isn't an actual physical metallic sign that is explicit in stating that there is no parking allowed there. He also showed me some photographs of the grates over the water meters on the sidewalk that have actually been destroyed by people driving their cars on the sidewalk in order to park in front of the fish market and the Shabu Shabu Hot Pot restaurant, and was curious as to whether or not that's allowed for vehicles to be driving on the sidewalk in order to park and to exit the building. So I figured I share his experience in that regard at the meeting, since he is, a long time vendor in that complex. As far as on a different side note, on a tangent, earlier the cattle gate was mentioned regarding Wahiawā Middle School and some of the nuisances that have been caused by people traversing through that area with motorbikes and other things. And I too had an opportunity to speak with the vice principal at Wahiawā Middle School, different one it sounds like than our community member says that she spoke with. And they stated to me that in the past they had actually put up locks on that gate, and that, I don't know, it could be the kids or whoever is accessing that area who's not supposed to, would actually take bolt cutters and cut the locks. And after a while, due to the expense, they stopped putting locks on the gate because they would just get cut. So I thought that would be valuable to share regarding that complex and Wahiawā Middle.
Thank you, Ethan, for the update and additional information. Definitely, they're not here, but the family that was concerned about all the roosters and chickens and the gate will, it'll be in the minutes, or she may be coming back next month. We'll find out. But thank you for that update. Okay. Anyone else up to the mic? Yeah. Hello.
That's it. John Sakamoto with Oahu Pumping Service. I just wanted to bring up, maybe we got to set up the meeting next month to educate people of Whitmore or whatever. What is the process with the plant? Okay, like the brother came up here and he don't know what we dumping in there. That is just when waste is getting treated in there, going to another plant. But so like don't even know what we dumping in there. That's why we're getting complaints of trucks just dumping in on hole. So if we get on like a board meeting where everybody come out who's concerned what we doing there, at least they get one heads up of what we're doing and how we service the community. Yeah, to make it cheaper for everybody. Because if we got to go from Sunset to Ever Beach to dump, it's expensive and people grumble. Right now it's on bad time, right? Everybody's like, oh, how come so expensive? I mean, look at the travel, traffic, dump. Over here is convenient for us. So we got to educate the community what we're doing. And I feel it's far enough from the houses where you're not going to smell the smell. The traffic from our trucks is not that bad. There's a lot of dump trucks going up the road. I see them all day going, which is double the amount of our pump trucks coming in here. So just for next month, I mean, just to educate the community of Whitmore, what we're doing and how it works.
Okay, John, before you go step down, thank you very much for clarifying that. But we definitely going to schedule something. But I have to work on how we're going to do that meeting.
Yeah.
My question is, I'm just trying to gauge when you say we drive from here to dumping, like where are you currently dumping? Like, give us an idea. Like,
well, now we're dumping over here with Whitmore.
Yeah, like where in Whitmore? Where?
Right after the fishing.
But that's gonna
on the right where
on the
there's a
right,
gate.
yeah.
There's a mini treatment plant.
Okay,
right
but
over
other than from there, from where to here though?
From North Shore, we cover the whole North. Well, I do only North Shore. I try to stay away from Kailua, Kaneohe, Waianae. So I mostly stay in our community, which is Kahuku to Wailua.
Okay.
And then there is cesspools, septic tanks in Wahiawā
Yeah,
that we still do Pro City and all that.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I just wanted an idea of when you're talking about travel, travel costs. Wait, I wanted to know where, like for
Yeah.
you on your day, where are you driving to?
Yeah. So like
thank you.
weekends, we got to go Sunset. We turn around, go all the way Ever Beach.
Wow. Wow,
'Cause this is
wow,
not
that's a
open
haul.
on the weekend. So
That's
I
a
mean, the travel time, the tires, and fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Joe,
But I
Just really quickly, are you guys an organization at all, or is it all just a bunch of separate companies and you have a
Different- yeah,
spokesman for your
different-
group?
No, we're
Okay.
just all different companies, but we deal with Mike. So we have quarterly meetings
Okay.
year round.
If for next month for a presentation, maybe it would be good to designate somebody like yourself who's speaking very nicely right now as the spokesman for that meeting, work with him.
Well, I
Your
wanted to
stuff, I'm
educate
sorry.
like the person that came up and was complaining, like what we dump in there. If they're educated, they would understand more of what's going
Right.
on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's going to be
Joe, please use the mic.
Oh,
You got a great point, and I agree. Thank you.
yeah. That's it.
okay. No, very good. Any other? Yes. Yes, you can.
Like, yeah, we'll set up a meeting.
Yeah.
And then like I mentioned too, in the interim, our organization, our agency, we can put together a presentation if you guys can help out with fielding the concerns and comments, suggestions. We can communicate on that. And then also like just to kind of give, I don't know if I kind of blew through it, so I just want to make clear the roles. So as a municipality, a utility providing wastewater service, we basically oversee these guys. All the pumpers, they have permits with us. They have rules to follow on reporting where they can dump, where they can't dump, all that type of stuff. So when we have these quarterly meetings, anytime there's changes that arise or things, concerns like this one, we bring it up in these meetings because we found that kind of having that open dialogue helps us to kind of come to a good solution because there's always a balance in things. So that's why like I said, I'm open to doing the presentation, and whoever is interested from the pumping community will also extend that invitation also.
Okay. But I'll be in contact with you after this so we can coordinate because there's a couple of angles to do this as far as collecting the right information. So
You just need clarification.
Yeah.
You're gonna make the meeting or he hosting the meeting?
it's our meeting that if it's through our neighborhood board, it would be me coordinating.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All
that's
right.
what I was just saying. I'm gonna make contact, but I gotta think of what would be the best venue and how to do it. So that because we want to make sure that you folks have a chance to explain, right? And then they have a chance to explain, in terms of what can we, kung pang,
Yeah,
how can we
I
work
got it.
together?
I just
Yeah?
needed to know
Yeah.
who was gonna host
Yeah,
the
no,
meeting.
it'll be me.
If it
Yeah.
was his responsibility or your responsibility. Okay,
It'll be
thank
me.
you.
Yeah. Okay, and then
Actually, Chair, can I just ask you, directed to you?
Yeah.
Would it be, Mike, you can just listen. Would it be more beneficial if there was just like a community meeting just for this particular subject and not part of the neighborhood board meeting?
Oh, yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like how we did our other meeting. We didn't
Okay,
have it.
great.
Yeah.
Good, good, good. Thank you so much for your time. And for all of you pumpers that are here, I know what you guys do. We appreciate your services. And for those of you pumpers that didn't speak up, I know what you're here, you're in support. Mr. Sakamoto, I hope to see you at the next community meeting for this. Good to see you. And Mr. Grace, thank you again for your time.
Thank you, but hold on, is this about?
I'm sure it's different, but Carmen again.
Carmen, are you on?
Hello, can you guys hear?
Yeah. Is this a question for what is the topic
I
right now?
just wanted to chime off of the last conversation really quick, if that's
Okay,
possible.
go ahead.
Okay, Roger, thank you. My name is Joseph Simpliciano. My wife is Carmen. We're from Kingdom Pathways, and we do work around wastewater and communication. We are from Waianae. The issue we had was the concern if you guys close down your dumping site over there, it may put a strain on other places, other communities, especially like Waianae. So Waianae, our dump site is right in front of a beach and in between homes. So I understand your guys' site is on the side of the road. And that's all I wanted to say, was just concerned, if you guys will close later on the road, Waianae could be used. So I don't know if you guys could hear me, but thank you.
Wait, Carmen, stand by. Maybe we can get a response to you. Hold on. Is Mike still? Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. No, that's Carmen. That was. Oh, I'm sorry. So what is your name? That's Carmen. What is your name? So we know who we're talking.
Joseph Simpliciano.
Okay. Joseph. Okay. Got it. So
Thank you.
good. Thank you. But you heard it though. You hit it. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. We're going to move on. Can we get a round of applause, at least for today, for everyone? Yeah. You know, big mahalo to everyone. And, it's not easy when you have, controversial and difficult situations. So we'll be talking on when and where we can set up a meeting. Okay. Moving on to, oh my gosh, our presentation. Nope, that was it. Yeah. Okay, we are now on section 5, our presentation concerns, our rules of decorum. All participants at this meeting shall extend the spirit of aloha to one another. There shall be no displays of disrespect to one another. Public comments can be made within the stated time limits and without interruption unless the comments are offensive and or out of order and are not conducive to civil discourse. Our first presentation is from the state's DLNR Doe Care Wahiawā Substation Project on 525 Avocado Street. And our presenter is Barbara Natali from the AICP, Senior Associate, Senior Planner, Project Manager.
Good evening, Chair Ishikawa, board, community. My name is Barbara Natal. I'm a senior associate planner at G70. And this is Kira Ramos. She's a staff planner at G70. G70 was contracted by Department of Land and Natural Resources, DLNR, to do an environmental assessment on the acquisition of 525 Avocado Street. I'm sure many of you are probably already familiar with this parcel. It's pretty much a topic at least several of the meetings in the past. And so the community did bring it to the state and city's attention of the property that had been abandoned and some of the things that were happening there. DLNR was very interested in acquiring this property. It would allow them to have a substation for the Division of Conservation and Resource Enforcement, or DOCARE. Currently, DOCARE has enforcement in the North Shore and Wahiawā, but they have to report to a station in Pearl City. So if they were able to have a substation here in Wahiawā, that would strengthen their enforcement for here and the North Shore. The environmental assessment, the draft, was published in this last December, 2025, and we had a 30-day public comment period. The comments that were received were supportive of DLNR acquiring the property, and the final environmental assessment was published just this recently, February 8th of this month. The next course of action for DLNR is to then have the Board of Land and Natural Resources approve the DLNR to move forward with acquisition of the property. So just wanted to give you a quick update on how this is going.
Okay, thank you for that. So where are we now though? Like as
Yes.
far as, yeah, go ahead.
On the property
Yes.
itself.
Yes.
So as the final EA was published, and at this point, then the DLNR has to put together a request to the board. The board has to approve the request to move forward to acquire the property. So it does go to the Attorney General, the AG of DLNR, and then they have to work on doing looking at the assessment of the site value and come up with a proposal in order to see if they can pursue the property from the landowner.
But what kind of facility would be on that property?
Oh, yes, I do
Big-
apologize.
yeah.
Yes, so I don't have a picture here of what it would look like. I know this is not a great map, but this is the property here on Avocado Street. And what they're looking at with this substation is the preferred building. It would just be, well, two buildings. One is the main tower, and they would be able to drive underneath with either their boats or their ATVs, those things that they need in order to do their enforcement. And that would allow them to also have an area where they can store their equipment.
So is that a lot, when you say with equipment, the ATVs, everything, so there'll be one unit as a office and then a storage unit, or because parking is very limited in that area also?
Yes, correct. Yes. So it would be all on one, all on the property for them to park as well. Since it is a substation, it would just be, I think, a total of maximum 4 officers that would be at the property.
I'm just kind of curious because it's so close to the park, the state park, and now you're gonna have, so is there a way of combining that where you, no option to, I mean, we're glad that the property is being used or being looked at, but someone had mentioned to me, well, how come they just didn't build a facility in there for DLNR, because you have their, so it was a good question. I think that's a fair question.
I'm going to ask Kira if she can answer this question for me.
My name is Kira Lee Ramos. I'm part of the team that did the EA for the Dole Care substation. So that was an alternative that was evaluated in the EA. And one of the reasons supporting the 525 Avocado Street location was the main arterial access to Avocado Street and Kamehameha Highway in the event of emergency for Dole Care officers and to address the issues of abandonment and homelessness.
Oh, for all,
Yeah.
okay, got it. Okay. Okay, stand by. Any questions from the board? Go ahead, TJ.
Actually, just wanted to make a comment because you folks know who I am from G70. Thank you very much for all your work. I can also tell you that the Wahiawā Freshwater Park also comes under federal jurisdiction, if I'm not mistaken. So, that's why, hence the locked gates, at 6 o'clock or whenever the sun goes down. But if I'm not mistaken, from the research that I've done on the project, the building will be about 9,000 square feet. And those officers, the Dole Care office is going to be shutting down in Pro City. I'm not sure what the timeline is on that, but I do know that it's going to be shutting down and the staff there will be transitioned to this new project here. And approximately, I do know that it's 9,000 square feet. So I also think that you folks should be aware that right now, currently, and maybe you can take a stop on your way home, that property has a hollow tile wall on the backside of the property, right where the lake property is located. I take that back. Do not stop at night because you would not be able to see that embankment that is falling away. And before too long, especially with these beautiful rains that we've been blessed with, that hollow tile wall is going to fall. So just putting it out there. I know that there was some question about the different jurisdictions on the backside of that property. So that might be something that you want to look at. I don't know how DLNR would reinforce that property to stop that embankment from falling away. Because again, we are blessed with beautiful ua here in Wahiawā. So thank you for your time.
But this is something we've brought up before because that embankment, I brought actually almost every meeting I bring it, there's no fencing or anything. So anyone at this moment could be walking through and fall over. I mean, there's nothing behind what used to be there, and that halfway made building, is there as well. But so, I brought that up before, that why in this duration can you put up a fencing to give some protection or something as a possibility? Because anybody could just walk and fall over because you really can. There's nothing there.
Yeah, and I think to Chair Ishikawa's point, that embankment is slowly deteriorating and falling away. So at any given moment, I know that we're expecting heavy rains again this weekend. So who knows if, and I'm not talking about the building that's already there. There is a separate hollow tile wall in the back. Who knows, maybe with the next set of rains that come, because the ground is already so saturated that that hollow tile wall could actually slide into Lake Wilson. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, any other questions from the board? Yeah, go ahead, Erin.
Hi, thanks for being here tonight. So to clarify, I'm really in support of improvement of that area of Avocado Street. I just kind of have a clarifying question in general. So as a private property owner, the state could come in and do an EA on my property at any time and determine that it is a place that they could own, that they could buy. You know what I mean by that? So like going, and I understand that this owner has been negligent, but is that something that could happen at any time, that if there's a private property or an area that the state deems important for them to have ownership of, do an EA on it without the private property's approval? And then is that the standard practice?
That's a very good question. As a consultant and my experience with state and city agencies that have done environmental assessments, I suppose, primarily you would do it on a property that you own. I suppose the reason why they ended up doing this environmental assessment is it would require state funds in order to do it. And the community brought this up to so it was kind of but I hear what you're saying. And I suppose that you really could, if you really wanted to spend all that money on it. But it was primarily because of the direction that they were given from the representatives in the community.
Absolutely. And I'm in support of it. I know that there's a lot of been community up, but it was just sort of this like gnawing question of like, wow, this could happen to anyone's property if you're not, aware. Or I'm just thinking of, areas that we're trying to protect too. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Go ahead, TJ. Oh, I'm sorry, Michelle.
Does the landowner know? Have you been working with the landowner?
DLNR is reaching out to them. The city has been really good at reaching out to the landowner. I do know that it's somewhat difficult to talk with them, but city's made really good strides with working with the landowner, so they are aware of what the state's intent is.
Because why I ask is because they are putting up or improving a building that's there. So I'm thinking they're just trying to drive up the land.
Oh, I never thought about that. But yeah.
TJ?
So I also wanted to ask, had this property not been available through eminent domain or condemnation or whatever, if this property were not available, were there other sites in Wahiawā that would fit the needs for a dole care office? Because I know we cannot think of one on Mango Street that would fit that need. Just asking.
There were alternatives that were pursued. I'm going to ask her to talk again about that.
And were those alternative sites in Wahiawā as well?
Yeah, so one of them was in the Wahiawā Freshwater State Recreation Area. There was another site potentially looked at, but the DLNR wanted to move forward with 525 Avocado Street. So that was the preferred site.
And that was mostly because of its proximity to Kamehameha.
Proximity and just from the community, hearing from the community of the ongoing concerns, that site was preferred.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Any other questions from the board? Hey, questions from the community? Okay, questions virtually? No, seeing none. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to can give a round of applause, please, for hanging out with us. Thank you. Our second presentation is the report on the state's proposed Kauhale project in Wahiawā. Our presenter is June Yang, the coordinator on homelessness, Office of the Governor's Ke'aina statewide Office on Homelessness and Housing Solutions.
Hi, good evening, June Yang. Thank you, Chair and Neighborhood Board. My name is June Yang. I'm the statewide Office on Homelessness and Housing Solutions. I'm the homeless coordinator for the governor. I have here a couple of my staff, both Brandon Mitsuda and Alan Ong, and also our consultant, Homemade Hawaii, who's been very helpful with a lot of our Kauhale programs and projects across the state. One, I wanted to thank you for the opportunity to present to Wahiawā, to the neighborhood board here There is a kauhale that we're thinking that we've been planning on working on together with you. And this is actually the second opportunity to kind of talk about this. We're out here in September at the invitation of the community to talk a little bit about what kauhale is. And there's been a desire from both legislators and some community members as well to bring kauhale to the Wahiawā area. And so I wanted to say first, thank you for inviting us back here. So I wanted to, I guess we can go to the next slide. First, our office is, just to give you a little bit of background, my office on the statewide office on homelessness and housing solutions is an attached agency connected to the Department of Human Services. And so we've been around for a little while now, but as a specific office that works on kauhale programs, this is in this term, Governor Green has made this a major initiative for our administration. We work closely with other state and federal and county organizations and to partner and develop and test innovative solutions to the issue of homelessness. And so we want to be able to build in innovative housing opportunities for those who are experiencing homelessness here in our community. Now, I know that for Wahiawā, we'll keep it here for a second, but for Wahiawā, there is no shelter, or there was a plan for a shelter in the area and more services, but those plans have changed over time. And so what we've been wanting to do here is to be able to, with the blessing of the legislators of the area, to bring in a kauhale program and a project into the Wilikina Drive area. Well, to let you know a little bit about what kauhale has been doing, what we've been doing in our office, we have about 25 kauhale projects across the state. Those are mostly here on Oahu. We know that this is our population center for the state, so we have the majority of our kauhale projects here. But we do have kauhale across the entire chain. And so what we wanted to do is bring in really affordable housing opportunities in a project for those who are needing these resources within our community. We know that coupling in great services with extremely low rent will help individuals come off of the streets quicker. And so we do know that there is, with partnerships with our service providers, especially with the most recent point in time count, that there are a couple of hundred unsheltered individuals in this community. Our most recent point in time count was in 2024, and there's about 130 individuals that we found across this community around Lake Wilson and in Wahiawā proper and around North Shore. I know that for Sierra and KWO, that they've gone out recently in the late January point in time count, and they've let us know that recently that the numbers seem a little bit higher. This will give us an opportunity to build a project that will be able to serve the people here in this community directly. And so this is a priority for our administration to be able to help prioritize those who are in this community for this project here. Really quickly, we know that in the 25 projects that we have across the state, we've served already over 2,000 individuals. I think that's a pretty amazing fact, that in the short amount of time that we've built up and established these places for individuals to come into, we've changed the trajectory for many, many individuals here. Over 2,000 individuals, and what the major part of it is, whenever we have these kauhales coming into a community, many individuals are concerned about safety and kind of the character of the community. And I want to let you know that with all the kauhales that we've brought into each community, those issues have all been taken into consideration, and we've improved the communities that we've come into. So security and safety in the areas that we've come in have improved. We have very good communication with the community that we're in and the kauhale projects themselves. To give you an example, we have one over in the Windward area. This was actually our first kauhale that we built out as a part of this administration as a tiny home community right off of the Windward College campus. This property here, as we were building this project up, the community concerns were worried about this type of project so near a school and so near housing in the area. We've worked closely with not only the faith-based groups in the area, but also closely with the school, and now it's now considered a resource to the community. The security perimeter has been, the security program that's a part of the project there does a perimeter walk very frequently, about once every hour, to not only just do within the facility, but also the entire community as well. So this is a great partnership with our communities there. Now for the Alana Ola Pono, this is in Iwalei. We've seen the street homeless encampments actually reduce over time, mainly because we do have such great communication and working closely with our security and the community partners in the area. Is there another one we have? Okay. And so I wanted to bring those up to you. And then one of the facts I wanted to share with you is that the numbers show that over 90% of the people support Kauhale projects across the state. This is a survey that was done across the state, and this is I think what we're finding is that deep affordability is something that speaks very, very loudly within our communities. This is something that we were trying to deliver to those who have been on the streets for a long time. And so to be able to bring them into a safe and healthy community, supporting each other with a strong, supportive organization will help change the trajectory of the individuals that are there and to help them reconnect with the community that's around them. That's the whole idea behind Kauhale for us. And so we wanted to give an opportunity to present this idea to you and also to let you know of the location that we're looking at. Now, we do have a member of the military here. This is going to be off of Willikina Drive going down towards McNair Gate. Now, this is an area that is overgrown with trees at this point. There's really nothing there, but we'll be going through a process of working with both Department of Transportation on traffic studies for the area, improvements of the site itself, and we're looking at building a facility that's going to be between 40 to 60 units on the site itself. And so I think we do have a map of the site, and then the site is owned by ADC. This is the Agribusiness Development Corporation. We've worked with them already to just get an idea of what the site looks like as it goes through not only their board, but the Land and Natural Resources Board as well. And we wanted to be able to present this to you. I think is there any other? Okay. Yeah, so these are some of the facilities. These are conceptual drawings and conceptual renderings. We'll have to go out to bid on this one. It'll be a short bidding process, but through them, our tiny housing units that we've been using and utilizing are going to be a little bit different from the ones that we're looking at on this site. These are going to be either they're going to be a dormitory style or a standalone structures. We're still working through that process, but we're going to have about 40 to 60 units here. These are all going to be residential style project on the site, and we'll be working closely with our neighbors in the area.
Okay, thank you, June. Before I ask a call on, I just want to say you look very presidential standing up there with a flag that it just moved.
Thank you.
Try to go back on him. It's amazing. It was like it was like you were in the White House or something with the flags on either side of you. But anyway,
Thank you, June. Thank you very much.
That was for a smile. We have a board member. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, my understanding of Kauhale is that they need to be somewhat within a community. In other words, available to the community services, stores, and things like that. Where you're looking at, actually, Marcus Oshiro and I looked at that area about 20 years ago, but some bathing and other facilities out there for the homeless. But that area is not in proximity to any kind of support. So why did you pick that area?
So this was a project, a facility that was, because we've been looking at the Wahiawā area in general for quite some time. This was one that was given to us as an opportunity that would actually fit a pretty decent project. We do understand that it's a little bit further away. And so we would want to make sure that our project would include services to be able to get to not only to work, to education, to to places where they can individuals can get food and other resources. So this would all be a part of that. We would incorporate those type of services in the project itself. We do have, like on Maui, we have our Kipo'ola Kauhale, and we're beginning to incorporate a workforce component to it as well. So we're going to be having training and education on the site, helping individuals that are part of the program, part of the project, be connected into the workforce over training. We're looking at other opportunities as well. This may be, and this is a conversation with both Department of Ag and ADC. How can we incorporate kind of a workforce towards the agricultural side of things? I think there's a beautiful opportunity here to mesh the two. And we're going to find ways to do so if that's something that the community is looking for, and that the individuals there are as well. So we'd love to be able to connect individuals to the work and employment and training that is absolutely organic to the area.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not clear on where exactly it is, because I know there's a lot of homeless along Willikina. Oh, it's farther down.
It's across from McNair Gate.
Yes.
So you see the Y that's over there.
Yes.
Right at that Y, there's this long parcel that's over by, you have some of the businesses right at the curve, and you have some surface parking. Right above the surface parking along Willikina Drive going north, you're going to have I think it's about 8 acres that is just overgrown. And so we'll be doing some clearing, but we're doing some surveying on the site right now. Expect in the next few weeks to get an idea of where the points are on the property itself, but we'll be doing some clearing as well.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm sorry. I don't know enough about your organization. So where's the funding come from?
Sure, absolutely.
For individuals, and what kind of,
Thank you.
well, you addressed the training a little bit,
Sure.
but you set all the rules, or
Yeah.
how does this work?
I apologize. I kind of jumped into everything. It's been some time since I had a chance to talk in front of the community, so I appreciate that. Our office is a state office. We are connected to the Department of Human Services. So the funding that is to build this site has been given to us through the legislature. A portion of it was given to us in the last legislative session. And then the remaining building funding is going through the legislative session right now. So we have money to kickstart it, to begin some of the site prep work. And then there's a second tranche of funding that is going through the legislative session at this point. So the funding is there, at least half of it. The type of rules and how the program is structured itself, we look at, as we're choosing sites, we look at kind of the needs of the area. And we know, as KWO can speak to, most of the individuals that we find that are unsheltered in this community are individuals and couples. And so if the majority of the individuals are in couples and the highest need is for them, we'll be building a facility for them as well. Will there be rules on site? There probably will be some, not probably, there will be house rules. And the way that we talk about it is, the way that I talk about it is, we help the individuals that come into our program learn what it is to be a good neighbor again. A lot of us have forgotten that if we've been on the street for some time, is to help individuals to come back and to know what it's like to, pay the program rents, to help other people not to keep them from sleeping, but to make sure that the sound stays within your unit without causing a ruckus. And so those small things that most of us understand are forgotten or lost or not as important if you're out on the street for a long period of time. And so what we're trying to do is help to bring the people, engage with them back into these communities and help them encourage each other towards being a good neighbor once again. Yeah.
And then June, you had to go ahead.
Just actually 4 concerns. Have you started informing the residents of the apartment next door yet?
We will be. So we wanted to. We came out in September at the request of one of the representatives in the area to talk about Kahale. and did let the community know that there was some plans for the community. And this was their first opportunity to be able to deliver that information to you. And then we're
Because
going to be sitting down with
If
them.
I'm not mistaken, there was another proposal by a private developer, and the residents over there were not really favorable towards it. So just be aware of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
Bus access will have to be altered, of course.
We'll work with the DTS.
Yeah, and the bus currently goes through Schofield too. So there's identification process when they hit the gate. I don't know how they're going to work it out where you go through the gate and because they ride through and they go back to Wahiawā. And then I'd like to get not me, but there's a concern that if the bus route is cut, I don't want to see what happened on Nimitz Highway, where the people in the Kahale there, right? They all of a sudden lost their bus access because they moved the stop or something, and they had to walk on Nimitz Highway, which is very dangerous, and that would be a very dangerous area to walk out of too. So wouldn't like to see the bus access be lost just because. So coordination with the city, basically.
Very much so. Thank you.
And then last concern. I don't know how it is now, but in the past, there was a smell coming up from the
lake,
the deep water on the lake. And so I don't know if that's been mitigated yet, because when I heard that the reason is that they only got one lock open to open the spillway. So I don't know what the mitigation, if it's in place now. And of course, what will affect it is that if the state acquires the dam, how does that impact the whole thing? So
I know that there's some plans for some improvements on the dam in the very near future. So I guess we can ask them through this process.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And I got to tell you, I like your name. Speed, yeah.
Any other questions from the board? Yvonne, go ahead.
Just a quick question, and I just also wanted to share some concerns because you did mention that this is ADC land.
It is.
That was given to you folks. And maybe, I don't know, it's kind of misdirected, but I was just wondering if you knew how long ADC had this land, and if this is already in the plans for them to convert like land that they had for, like what seems to have should have been agriculture purposes for a housing project. And maybe, sorry, that could just be forwarded to them, just kind of curious. But then mostly my concern, because we were already talking about wastewater earlier, if there's, what is the wastewater plan for all the 40 to 60 units?
So we've already spoken with ENV. I believe that we have a plan and have coordinated with ENV on what the utility lines would look like, which includes water and our sewer lines in the area. So there's capacity, is my understanding. Yeah.
I'm just going to dovetail off of that question on your Yvonne's. I think the question is more to how will the water irrigation would you be able to accommodate? Because that's the question that we had earlier of the haulers. If they can't dump here, where would they dump? So would they be able to dump via your line?
So this will be a facility that'll be fully connected. So it would not be, there'd be no septic. These are not temporary.
Okay.
This is going to be built like an apartment complex or something of that sort.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So these are not temporary structures.
Okay, and TJ.
Thank you, by the way. And I'm sorry that I wasn't able to attend the community meeting that Rep. Peruso had hosted. So I've got a few questions. Number one, so this project you said is going to be dorm style with 40 to 60 units. So it's not going to be how Kama'oku is out in Kapolei.
So we're working through the concepts right now on the type of building itself, if it's going to be a dorm style, but we're talking about, and we're going to have to go out to bid, but these are going to be most likely one unit, one bedroom unit or a studio style unit. So bathroom per. And these are going to be a little bit different from the Kamaoku style units.
So right now, so for those of you that don't know, you can look it up, Kamaoku, Kama-Oku, OKU, and it's located out in Kapolei, just beyond the Costco over there. And I actually visited the Kamaoku, and it's very innovative at the time when it was developed, and also it was done by Homemade. And so I heard that there was a Homemade representative here.
Yes.
So Kamaoku has individual units for singles. I don't know if it's changed since then with couples. I do know that each unit does not have a bathroom in it, and that they have a centralized bathroom where you can go and take showers and things like that to take care of your hygiene needs. And I also do know that Kamaoku, at the time that I visited, did not have cooking facilities in each of the units, that there was a centralized cafeteria. Now, just putting it out there, because you did say earlier that you wanted that it was going to be dorm style, 40 to 60 units. And then 2 minutes later, you said that you were going to be asking residents to keep the sound down. So I don't know, are we going to do dorm units and individual units like how Kamaoku is?
So these are all conceptual at this point on the type of units that we're building, but we are looking at the direction that we're going is going to be more like one bedroom. What I mean by one bedroom, it means including kitchen, bathroom. So that would be it would be different than the Kamaoku units that you visited. So the kitchen facility would not be one that we would have on this site, or we may have a community center. That's something that we'll still have to discuss. But for the site itself, the units themselves will look like a studio unit with a bathroom and a kitchen inside. The whole concept of being a good neighbor is one that we have across all of our kauhales. So those that are both looking like Kamaoku and those that don't, they all have that concept in there as to understand what it is to live with a neighbor and live in community.
Okay, so I'm glad you reiterated that, because what Board Member Francher said is because of its proximity. And for those of you who don't know exactly where he's talking about, it's out near where the old car lot used to be along Willikina, just past Kimo'o Farms. So if you're going to put a kauhale like that out there, you're not really in proximity to the community, except maybe the military community across the street and the residents that live in that apartment building right there, Kimo'o by the lake, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, that being said, Willikina Drive, and so this is going to be mostly for singles or for families?
The population in the area for most of our unsheltered are singles and couples. So these would be for singles and couples.
For singles and couples. And will you be making allowances for those singles and couples that have animals, whether they be a service animal or they be pets? Because I think KWO can speak to the fact that when they did their point in time count most recently in January, and also in previous years, because I participated, there were, I would say, I'm guessing 95% of the people that were surveyed during the point in time count had at least 2 pets. So is that something that, yeah, you don't have to answer this now.
Oh, no,
because
absolutely.
I'm
So I
hoping
can, I don't mean to speak over you. Most of our kauhale do actually allow for pets. So our projects across the board have those where we've built out our structures in tiny housing communities. They all allow for pets. Mostly one dog or 1 or 2 cats. Some of the projects have allowed for 2, and so. That I can't answer that question.
And I'm sorry if you could, and I'm sorry, the representative from KWO, can you tell just off the bat, doesn't have to be an exact number, but of the people of our community, homeless community, did you encounter this year and in most recent years, did you encounter homeless individuals that had less than 3 pets?
Some.
But the
Very
majority
few.
had more?
The majority had more.
Okay, thank you
Yes.
so much. I appreciate that. Okay, my next question is, will the kauhale serve only the 96786 area residents, or will it be open to other homeless from other areas? And if so, what is the eligibility process for that?
So, as I had mentioned earlier, this is going to be a priority for, there's a priority for this community. Now, I cannot say that I can exclude anybody else because that's something that is not allowed. But what we can say is that this is a priority for this community. So we'd like to prioritize the people from this community. And that's something that we can do.
Okay. And then, okay, go ahead. And I'm sorry, what is your name?
My name is Sierra Martin. For those of you that are new faces to me, I'm usually online majority of the time, but I am from Kealoha West Oahu. We're a homeless outreach nonprofit agency that services Wahiawā amongst a lot of other areas as well. So districts 2 and 3. And we have been working very closely with the Office of Homelessness and Housing Solutions to bridge that gap. So that's kind of where we're going to step in as far as serving this community first. We are going to be the agency to do that connection towards whatever Kauhale projects are opened, even in other cities that we service for all unsheltered, the majority populations. And I can say with the families, even though we get very few, they get housed or sheltered a lot quicker than singles or couples do. So that's why we highly support the idea of going forward with this project. I hope we can sort out all of, the kinks and whatnot. Nothing's ever going to be perfect, but I can honestly say it's going to make a huge positive impact, especially for the lake area and the pollution that's going on there. Over time, I know for a fact we're going to see overall improvement some way, somehow.
Okay, thank you so much. And we noticed the pollution, and I'm sure area residents that are here in the room tonight can speak to the pollution that this last rain brought out. So just thank you, by the way, for that. Just a couple more comments though, and not questions you don't have to answer, but if you could just listen and mull this over before your next presentation. I would really suggest that you folks get somebody from the AG's office to look at those housing, to look at the statement that you just said about giving priority to those residents that are in the area and that are being serviced in the area, only because there is such a thing called the housing discrimination and things of that nature. But again, nothing that you need to respond to, just food for thought. And also, if you could also consider, while you folks are putting together your wraparound services with organizations like KWO, that you also look at the Department of Labor and Industrial Relations, and they have a program called the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act that also has something called the Employer Training. It's called ETPL. I forget what the PTL is for, but it is also a really good resource to have. Their main office is located at the Dole Cannery, and it is part of their workforce development program. And you might also want to look into agencies like Alulike and OHA and probably CNHA. I cannot remember what their new name is now, but these organizations also have funding to support our Native Hawaiian communities. And workforce development, where the WIOA program is not specific to Hawaiians, although it is specific to Hawaii residents. So as you folks are putting this together, I would like for you to consider these things and share with us again how all of this can provide the best services for our community residents. And the last thing that I do have to say, sorry, is I would like for you folks, while you're going through this process of obtaining the property with the Agribusiness Development Corporation, I would like for someone, and if that means getting an opinion from the Attorney General, is to look at what the purpose of the Agribusiness Development Corporation is. As we know, recently they were under an audit that brought out 59 deficiencies that needed to be addressed. Is this Kauhale project meeting the minimum standards of what the Agribusiness Development Corporation was set up to do by the state legislature? And if you could bring that back to another meeting, that would be fabulous. But again, the Agribusiness Development Corporation, and how does this Kauhale fall under the purview and the intent of how the legislature funded this over 35 years ago? Thank you very much. And you can go watch the rerun of this, on YouTube, so you can get all my questions.
I appreciate that. I think
Great. Mahalo.
I think my staff has it down, so I appreciate the opportunity.
Wait,
Thank you very
let me
much.
just check if there's any other questions from the community. Okay, and any questions online? Okay, seeing none. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Is this a long-term for residents or is there a limit on how long they can stay there?
So there's no limit on this on this. What we've come to find, so a number of our projects have as an example for the Alana Ola Pono project, which we opened in January of last year. There's 45 units over there. Already they've served, I think, nearly 150 people that have come through and moved them into permanent housing and connection to services and back with family as well. So depending on the style of program that is there, these individuals may be there for a little bit, maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years, but it really is not creating a time limit allows the individuals to save up money and make the decisions for themselves on how to move forward. And so these are the things that we've been working on. And so for those over at the Lana Olapono project, what we come to find is that these people are motivated to move into that next step. And it's pretty exciting to see. Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, any other questions? Okay, seeing none. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Really good to see you guys again. Thank you. Can we get a round of applause? Thank you. Okay, everyone, at this point, we are on item 6 under elected officials, calling on Kevin for the mayor's office.
Hello, Chair Ishikawa and board
Hello.
members. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're fine. Thank you.
Outstanding. It's getting late, so I'm going to dive right in. Just a reminder that the new and improved HNL 311 system was launched in December. And that's the portal that our residents can use to report issues in their communities that need to be fixed or addressed. Once an issue has been reported, it goes directly to the department responsible for that type of request. And if users register an account, they'll get notified whenever there's a status update to their request. So we're really encouraging residents to use the 311 portal. It's really exciting. It can be found at hnl311.com. That's hnl311.com. And we encourage residents to sign up. And instead of taking, photos of broken stuff and putting it or posting it to Instagram, take a couple of photos and upload it to HNL311. I think that would be encouraged. Please see the mayor's newsletter, number of exciting things in there, including the new Deputy Chief, Jimmy Barros of Ocean Safety. Honolulu Fire Department celebrates its 175 years of service. We had Black History Month, and the Kahuku District Park proposed renovations are also discussed. That can be found at https://www.honolulu.gov/mayor/newsletter. Following up on some of the items discussed at the last board meeting, the trash buildup outside of the Halikoa room at the district park, DPR responded that illegal dumping unfortunately continues to be an issue at all of our parks. Staff removed most of the items early this month. However, additional materials were recently dumped, and I understand our staff was removing the remaining bulk trash, or was scheduled to remove it today. I'm not sure if that happened because of the weather, but it was scheduled to happen on 2/23. So they are aware of it, and it is imminent. There was a question regarding illegally parked vehicles outside the Lone Star Motorsports location. I guess a resident shared that Lone Star Motorsport uses the street to park cars that they're working on, and the vehicles are creating blind spots for drivers and forcing residents to walk on the road since the cars are parked on some of the sidewalk areas. We understand that from January 20th through the 29th, just in 9 days, District 2 officers reported issuing 30 citations. It's like 3 a day, and towing 4 vehicles for illegal parking. So officers will continue to monitor the area and take appropriate enforcement actions if violations are observed. There was a question last month about business closures. We asked DPP about this, but that's not their jurisdiction. The Neighborhood Community Office helped us reach out to OER about this question. The office, OER is the Office of Economic Revitalization, They explained that they don't have specific statistics on businesses that have closed, and they pretty much obtain their data from other public records like census data, et cetera. But if there was specific information that could be provided, for instance, if there's a timeline that the questioner wanted examined, or if they had some examples of some of the businesses that they closed, OER will continue to research that. But they don't have any statistics on businesses that have closed. I wonder if the state might, but not certain. There was a question regarding Complete Streets program status. The city has several Complete Streets programs initiatives underway in Wahiawā. The Department of Design and Construction is currently soliciting construction bids for the rehabilitation of localized streets Phase 17 project, which will repave and repair the roadways in Lower Wahiawā and install missing sidewalks on California Avenue between Kamehameha Highway and Oahe Street, and also on School Street on the Kalani Avenue side between Mahele and Kali Pony Streets. Property owners and tenants have been notified of upcoming changes, and construction should begin in early fiscal year 26-27. That would be beginning in July. Department of Transportation Services is also in the preliminary engineering phase of the Wahiawā Walkways project, which will design and construct new sidewalks and shared use paths, safety enhancements at pedestrian crossings and intersections, upgraded bicycle infrastructure, and traffic calming features on California Avenue between Kamehameha Highway and Karsten Drive, and also Glen Avenue and Uuku Street between Kellogg Street and California Avenue. To inform the project design, the city hosted a public workshop in September 2025 to share draft design proposals and to gather feedback from the community. The city is preparing to mail letters to property owners and lessees along the project corridor to share project information and invite further comment. The project team is now working on environmental permitting, lighting studies, and they're at about 60% plans design stage. The design is anticipated for completion in 2028 with construction bids expected in 2029. They also noted that the project is federally funded, with 80% of the total project cost being funded by the federal government, and the state of Hawaii providing roughly $4.2 million to be used as the city's local match of 20%. The Department of Facilities Maintenance also has an upcoming project to repave California Avenue from Kamehameha Highway into Wahiawā Heights. These improvements include parking protected bicycle lanes, a travel lane reconfiguration in their commercial corridor, stripped curb extensions with delineator posts at busy intersections, and an uphill bicycle lane to the elementary school. Additional project information and detailed plans are available at honolulu.gov/complete streets /central-Oahu. A summary of all Complete Streets efforts island-wide is also available for the fiscal year 2024-2025, and that progress is also available on our homepage. That's all I had, Chair.
Thank you very much. Opening to the board, any questions? Let's go, Michelle.
Hi, Kevin. Thank you.
Hi, Michelle. Sure.
I'd like to hear what the mayor thinks of the report submitted to him concerning the audit of the Office of Economic Revitalization and the recommendations made in that report. And also, does he think that the $324.3 million budget was spent wisely? And will they get an additional $2.3 million that they're asking for, being that they haven't met their goals, far from it? And do they need to show any productivity up front?
Yeah, so I think that the mayor's, the Office of the Managing Director, or the Office of the Mayor, has prepared a response to that audit, and that was submitted to the City Council. So I'll follow up on it's either been submitted or is going to be submitted to the City Council. It's in the form of a mayor's message, Michelle. So we'll follow up on that and see if we can get a copy of that, and we'll send it to you.
Any other?
I guess we could send that to chair and then
Yes.
she can
Yeah.
distribute. Yep.
Any questions from the board? Questions from the community for the mayor's office? And any questions virtually for the mayor's office? Okay, I think you're good to go, Kevin. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Chair Ishikawa. Chair Ishikawa, just a note, I'm going to be, for the next meeting in March, I'm actually unfortunately going to be on a plane headed to Phoenix on city business. So I'll try to get somebody to substitute, or we'll figure something out. But
All
just
right.
for awareness, I need to be excused.
Appreciate the
Okay.
heads up. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. All right, mahalo. Y'all have a great evening.
Okay, moving on to Councilmember Wire's office. Kelly?
Aloha Chair and members of the board, Kelly Anaya from Councilmember Matt Wire's office. Just a couple things I wanted to highlight. Councilmember was proud to recognize the Taste the Town Wahiawā group at full council. The event brought more than 40 local vendors and welcomed an estimated 1,500 attendees, which highlighted the talent, creativity, and innovation of farmers, artisans, and small businesses. So thank you to those who attended. An update regarding the Kamananui agribusiness and gondola project. DPP had requested a 30-day extension and the applicant has concurred that additional time is warranted. So we'll be keeping an eye on for that. Couple legislative updates. Bill 4, which will strengthen incentives to build affordable rental housing. Councilmember introduced Bill 4 with Councilmember Okimoto to strengthen the city's incentives for construction. The current subsidies and grant programs are designed to help support these projects, but the current monetary amount are not keeping up with the rising costs of construction. Bill 4 will update these incentives to help offset the higher costs. It passed first reading during the January full council and has been referred to, excuse me, the Zoning and Planning Committee. Bill 54, bus fare increase. It did pass third reading during January's full council. And this will increase bus fares, excuse me, which will include higher costs for monthly and annual passes, youth passes, visitor passes, handy van rides, and added fees for cash payments. Councilmember did vote no on Bill 54 because raising bus fares will place a real financial burden on working families. And his no vote reflects his commitment to protecting affordability and quality of life. And a couple updates from last month's meeting. Excuse me. I believe resident Mickey Travis had talked about Milikana Place parking and the trash not being picked up. I did send that request to HPD. They said that from February 2nd to the 11th, they did monitor the area and issued 3 citations. They will continue to monitor the area, but residents are urged to call 911. I mean, because we can't just keep them parked out there. I think I also mentioned, she asked who owned it. I said it was privately owned, so they would need to look into that as well. I think she also mentioned the Olive/Ojai Street illegal parking, the one with the automotive business. I believe I also mentioned that HPD is actively working on this from last year. You need to call 911 when you see it though. For some reason, the business owner just kind of keeps double parking and triple parking. And unfortunately, HPD cannot have an officer stationed there 24 hours a day. Lastly, I want to address the Olive Ave no parking enforcement fronting Don Yang and the Hawaii Pot. Councilmember and I did receive a complaint in person about this. So I did go out and I took pictures. There are 3 posts with those no parking signs. I also confirmed with DTS that it is no parking. So I thought I heard somebody say that they saw somebody posting those signs. I mean, I'm not sure what that's about, but DTS did confirm that that entire stretch is no parking. Also, resident Alicia Au spoke about Mango Street Grill Reynolds and the Huli Huli chicken permits. I'm still waiting to hear back from DPP. Illegal dumping at the Wahiawā District Park. Chair, I believe you had said something about possibly installing a hood closure, but DPR is not sure what kind of hood closure that would be and how much of a deterrent that would be. So,
It would just be the regular fencing. Right now, they have the four sides of a fence.
yeah, the four
And
sides.
the top, there's
yeah.
nothing over it,
Yeah,
so they could just.
They could just, yeah, they could still, so. yeah.
But that's why they're, yeah, that's.
Yeah, I think that's probably why they're not really actively pursuing that. But yeah, if you see anybody dumping their residential trash there, maybe
Yeah.
try to call them out or let the park attendant know or something. Also, Kiliko Drive signage, she was asking about, it says beginning and ending. Actually, Kiliko Drive is a loop. It's not a one-way. So whether you turn in through the first or the second one, it's not really a beginning or an end. So they're not going to change out the signage. And then lastly, adding the words no camping to the missing Ho'okipa signage. Yeah, I'm just waiting to hear back from DPR. And that's it for me. If anyone has any questions for council member.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah.
June had his hand up.
Yes.
Just want to state that that so-called trash can was not designed that way. It was supposed to originally they kept recyclables in there.
Oh, at the district park?
Yeah,
Oh,
that
okay.
one was originally for recyclable, but everybody kept on cutting the wire to steal the recyclables.
No, it's true. That is true. It happened. Yeah. But that's why. But seriously, that's why when I mentioned this, because from years ago.
Yeah, so it's not really a trash bin or anything like
Yeah.
that.
But years ago, we were saying, how come they didn't make a cover? Because years ago, people would.
Well,
you know,
they had the cover, but people kept on cutting the cover, cutting through the wire, so they gave up. They didn't use it as a recyclable area anymore.
That part I didn't know. I just didn't know.
I think that's also why DPR doesn't have any, excuse me, recycling bins. I know a couple times already, even during the previous council members' time, people had asked to have recycling bins at beach parks and whatnot up on the North Shore. But that was always the issue. People taking the recycling. if just straight up putting non-recycling trash, and we don't really have the manpower to keep separating it. So thank you for that, Joan. I appreciate it.
No problem. And go ahead, Erin.
Hi, Kelly. Thanks
Hi.
for being here. So just want to thank council member for voting no on Bill 54. I think that's
Thank you for your support.
pretty outrageous that they're raising bus fares and the handy van. What will that 4 million be allocated for? Is that to pay? Maybe that's a question you can ask. Like, where is that?
The 4 million?
Yeah, the 4 million.
Okay.
Where is it
Yeah,
going?
I'll have to look into
And
it.
my bad theory is that I feel like if we made buses free on the whole island, we wouldn't have had to build the rail. Pass that along. Like, I feel like more people, there would be better ridership. But okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I think I was gonna.
Wait, let her chuckle. Let her chuckle. She's allowed to chuckle.
I'm gonna dovetail off of your comment about.
Oh, you can. Go ahead.
No,
I yield the mic to you to dovetail.
still have the gavel. No.
Hey, but Kelly, thank you so much because all of the responses that you brought here tonight were, I mean, I watched the video from the last meeting and I think you hit on almost all of them, if not all of them. So thank you for being here. And then I just wanted to ask, with respect to the gondola project, while I understand that I understand the process, I don't understand why DPP had to ask the gondola project owner for more time to respond to the issues at hand. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that while we are waiting for these processes to be completed, I want to know if DPP knows that there is a movie that will be filming on that gondola project site, because there are already people out there from this particular movie that are scouting that area. And I'm wondering if they know that work is being done, because the gondola property owner, I'm sure will be making a ton of money from this project. So I guess my biggest thing with the gondola project, and I'm pretty sure you folks know this by now, is that if the permits were not properly granted, if the permits were not granted, period, or if the developer did not live up to the conditions of the conditional use permit, why was anything allowed to even happen? So to dovetail off Jeannie's word, why is the gondola property owner being allowed to make money off of this? Because like I said, he will be making a ton of money off of this movie that's going to be filmed. If I'm not mistaken, they're slated to go out there at the end of March.
So they're confirmed
film.
already? Because I heard rumors that they were just checking it out, but it wasn't
Yeah,
confirmed. It's
they're already
confirmed?
out there. Yeah.
No, I mean, they're
Oh,
confirmed to
yes,
use the
yes.
spot?
Yes, because apparently there isn't, from what I've been told, and I was just told this over the weekend, there isn't another site that would provide the use that the movie is looking for.
Okay.
But I'm sure I could provide them some alternative sites for the filming.
Okay.
So
I was aware that they were scouting locations,
Yeah.
but I wasn't aware that they confirmed to use that site. So I'll have to look
Yeah.
into that.
That would be great.
As far as the extension, DPP received over 200 something testimony, and it's just for them to have proper time to review all of it.
To be able to review all the
all of the
testimony.
testimony, correct.
Okay, thank you
Yes.
so much.
Yeah.
And again, we appreciate all the work that you do. Please tell Councilmember
I will.
Councilmember Wire that we appreciate all the work that he's done, but most importantly, we appreciate his vote no on Bill 54.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for your support.
Any other questions from the board? Questions from the community? Or questions virtually? Okay, thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to Governor's Office, Rosemary. No, I don't see her. Okay, moving on to Senator De La Cruz's office. Hi.
Yes, sir. Hi. Charles Miller here from Senator De La Cruz's office. I'll start off by talking about the questions from last board meeting related to the stabilization of funds in areas like education, healthcare, and safety. Senator De La Cruz is committed to not affecting the community general services, but the Senate has not gotten the state budget yet, so it's hard to give specific examples. The state budget will be crossed over on March 18th, and the Senate will look into the Council on Revenues report in March to see if what the estimated financial outlook for Hawaii is, to see if it's changed from the January report. And then you can keep up to date with it with Senator De La Cruz's weekly newsletter. And one of the bills that passed the Ways and Means Committee was SB 2211, which provided an emergency appropriation to the Department of Human Services to replace the general fund appropriations redirected to provide emergency food assistance during the 2025 federal government shutdown. And then some additional bills of Senator De La Cruz's, SB 2802 appropriated money to establish a bachelor's degree program in education and agricultural science at the Leeward Community College. And then SB 3281 establishes the criminal offense of promoting an illegal electronic gambling device, authorized civil penalties and actions relating to premises on which illegal electronic gambling devices have been used. And then where we are at the legislative session, the first lateral deadline was on February 20th, meaning the Senate bills have now been referred to the last Senate committee. And then just an update on 123 Mango Street. Senator De La Cruz and Senator De La Cruz's office is aware of the recent activity on the property. Senator's office is working closely with the Office of Community Resources and the Budget and Finance Office on a solution. I'll be able to provide more at the March meeting, but we're working with a GIA grant from 2024. And then just to answer a question about the chickens, there's a Senate bill, SB 2892, relating to feral chickens. It appropriates funds to each county to facilitate the collection of feral chickens that have already been caught. And that's all I have, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Could you repeat the last one on the chickens? Only because it was a hot topic on in our meeting tonight.
Yeah, of course. So it's SB 2892. It's relating to feral chickens, and it appropriates funds to each county to facilitate the collection of feral chickens that have already been caught. And there's a house companion. I just did not write down the house companion.
Okay, so it's funds to give to the community to catch the chickens, the feral chickens?
So the
or-
counties.
So they'll give if they get the funds, they're giving the funds to the counties to disperse to
Yes.
whoever is. So they'll be hiring someone to catch the feral chickens?
Yeah, I just it's a shorter bill. I just wrote down what it says. It's a blank appropriation right now. Yeah. I can provide, I can provide more I can provide more details once I
I want to pick your brain at 9:30 at night. I'm so sorry. It's just
no worries,
I'm
Chair.
gonna have to answer this question for I'm gonna have to answer this question again.
Yeah, I can forward the bill to your email if you'd like tomorrow when I get into the office, just so you can have a better look at it.
All right. Okay. Okay. Hold on. You had a question? Hold on.
For the feral chicken, so if it's the counties that's going to take care of the problem, will the state give the counties permission to go on state land and try to solve the problem?
I am not sure. I was not familiar with this bill until
Maybe
I
you can
looked.
answer that next time.
Yeah, until I looked on the Capitol website when the discussion was going on earlier this board meeting.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Charles. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Hey, Charles, how's it? Happy New Year. Kungi Fa Choi.
Happy New Year.
Just had a question. So I saw the interview on Hawaii News Now. I'm not sure if it was last night or the night before, where Senator was interviewed about the recent rains and the concerns that residents brought up about the Lake Wilson and the breaching of the dam and blah blah blah. Did that, or did this most recent incident spur the senator to help push forward the transaction of purchasing that spillway from Dole and its other 50% private owner? Because as you know, if you watch the news tonight that I did at 4:30, there is another rain system coming this weekend, and it's expected to last until Tuesday of next week. So I'm hoping that these incidents will help them to quickly figure out what needs to be done so that the state can take control of that area and fix it. Because as most of you know, that is my family at the bottom of Kaukonahua Stream in that community. So I'm hoping that that they can move a little quicker.
Okay. Yep.
Oh, and I'm sorry, you can bring your response back to the next meeting.
Yeah. Sorry, TJ, can you repeat just the question portion?
So did the recent rains and the upcoming weather system prompt Senator Dela Cruz to help bring the transaction around that dam and the spillway to a quicker end? Because right now it's a negotiating thing with Dole and the other 50% owner. So has this last rain, and I mean, it should have prompted them from the rain that was 4 years ago in 2021. Has it prompted anybody to hurry up and get control of the dam so that it can be repaired?
Yes. I will say that everything would have to be after the legislative session, just because to acquire the dam, we would need to have a final state budget. But I know that it's in the works.
Has money not already been allocated from prior budgets for the purchase of the spillway and the dam?
Yes, funding has been allocated towards it, but there's also repairs and things like that need to be allocated to the dam.
I see. So that prior allocation was just for the purchase. It was not for the repair and maintenance of that spillway or the dam.
Yeah, there needs to be additional appropriations for repairs on the dam.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Charles. Any other questions from the community or virtually? Okay, hearing none. Thank you very much, Charles. And we're going to move on to Representative Perusu.
Aloha.
Hello.
So I'm going to start with chickens. And since we're on the topic, the House also has a bill slightly different, but I think it's worth tracking. And we're going to be hearing it actually in finance on Wednesday. So you still have time to submit testimony. It's House Bill 2561. Not sure, if everyone's going to support this, but basically it declares feral chickens on public lands to be a public nuisance and a controllable pest in cities of populations of 300,000 or more. So Oahu, essentially, Honolulu. And it prohibits supporting, so that also includes Wahiawā. It prohibits supporting feral chickens on public lands, including by feeding chickens. And it prohibits the abandonment of chickens on public lands or on private property without consent. And establishes fines and authorized enforcing agencies, and also provides funds for the receipt, handling, and humane disposition of feral chickens that have already been caught. So I think we're having multiple chicken conversations at the Capitol. But I also want to talk a little bit more about like the bigger picture. So we did just pass first lateral. Bills are have moved into their final committees. We're beginning to have third readings of bills on the floor, which is the final reading before crossover, and crossover happens in the next couple of weeks. That includes our budget, as was mentioned earlier. I sit on finance. We're just starting our finance committee hearings. And I wanted to just mention two bills because I don't want to go into too deep of a dive, because folks can read my newsletter if they want to like really get into it. But House Bill 2007, I think, deserves community attention because it increases the value of household and dependent care tax credit. So if you are using monies to provide childcare or elder care, you can, and you have been able to use those tax credits, and we're making those tax credits, the value of the tax credits much higher. So we're raising the percentage of the expenses that taxpayers can claim when calculating the credit. So this should help families, working families, a lot in this community, because I know that both childcare and kupuna care are significant costs to families. The only other bill that I want to mention in detail is House Bill 2369, and that is speaking to kind of the crisis we're seeing in our care providers. So we've talked a lot about how a lot of the care provision for our social services is kind of falling apart because we aren't paying those providers enough. We can't keep people because the salaries are just so poor. So this would provide that these community-based organizations are getting contracts awarded that provide protections against inflation and are appropriated additional funds to increase their contract prices. So that's one of the reasons we lost Alea Bridge and Achieve Zero, was because they just could not make ends meet. And we're trying to, that's happening, to multiple nonprofits that play a really key role in our communities. So we're trying to address that problem with this bill. So 2369 is also moving forward and should be heard by the judiciary, I think, this week. House Bill 2007 should be heard by the Finance Committee on March 3rd, I believe. And to speak to a little bit to what was discussed earlier, our office is working with Senator Favela to help the mayor understand how important reopening the Pearl City and Kahuku septage locations is to our community to create more balance. Right now, I think that Whitmore Village is being treated as a sacrifice zone, and I think that's unjust. So we're also working on addressing this question of cesspool conversions. We'd like to start seeing some data from the routes that those truck drivers are using so that we can better understand where possibly we're seeing failing cesspools that need to be converted, so that we can support those families in funding those conversions. And that's another bill that's moving at the legislature. There was a bill that was introduced to repeal what we did to ban landfills over aquifers last session, all of that hard work. And it was actually moving, but luckily we were able to get it deferred in energy and environmental protection. So there's a lot happening. I'm just kind of giving you little snippets, but I'm available for questions.
Well, thank you, Representative. That was a very important segment that you mentioned about with, the water situation, the drivers, because that came up at our meeting today.
Yep.
So we probably will be talking about this next month or in months to come as well, more than once. But on your side, I'm just curious, when you're talking from your side, you mentioned Alea Bridge and et cetera. Are you still in contact with those organizations still, or in terms of their status or?
No, I'm not. I just mentioned them as kind of examples of nonprofits that have failed. I mean, probably multiple reasons, but the financial situation with those nonprofit situations is really untenable. It's impossible to do the work that we're asking them to do on the budget that we're providing. So what the second bill I mentioned, the true cost bill, does is it kind of levels up what we're paying those providers so that they can actually provide the service that we're asking them to provide.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, any questions from the board? Michelle?
I just want to thank you for voting no on HB 2007 in committee. I appreciate that.
On 2007? 2007 is my bill. I did not vote no on that. That's the child independent tax care credit.
Well, oh, no. I'm sorry. 2570. Sorry.
Yeah.
What you were saying. 2570, the one on legalizing online sports gambling.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Sorry.
I don't support that.
No, it's getting late. No, that's fine.
Yeah, I was having a heart attack. I was like, I voted no on my own bill.
Okay, any other questions from the board? Yes, go ahead, TJ.
Hi, Rep. Thanks for your report. Thank you for all that information. I wanted to ask, and it was just brought to my attention by a community member, and I'm not sure if this particular area on Willikina is state jurisdiction, but there is a lot of drug activity and prostitution going on in that area. I'm not sure if you've heard. I'm wondering if you did hear, and I'll try to get more information, but if you could let us know if you heard anything about that. And the second question that I had is the bill that was introduced, and then you just said it was deferred to repeal the bill about preventing landfills. What was that bill number? Who introduced it and who supported it?
So the first question, I haven't heard about the activity on Willikina, and if you could share additional information when you get it, I'd really appreciate that. Willikina stretch is state responsibility. So if it is along the roadway, then it is something that the state should be involved in. And as to the second question, so it didn't start out as a bill to repeal what we had done. It just morphed into that through the course of going through water and land. So it was introduced by the legislators from the windward side because they also don't want a landfill in their community, and they tried to introduce language about a no pass zone. But then somehow in the committee, it morphed into it morphed into a bill that would have repealed what we did. So it was really interesting to see Ernie confused about what the bill was doing. It was a crazy moment, actually.
Yeah, thank you. It kind of seems like so much time, energy, and resources were put into that bill to protect our land, and then to have somebody come forward to repeal that, it really does not make sense.
Honestly, I don't think it was intentional. I think it was it's so easy to, all of this work requires a lot of diligence. So I think something just got lost in the translation a little bit.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Questions from the community? And any questions virtual? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Representative. Thanks for hanging with us.
Thank you.
The report. Okay, board members, we're only going to go to item 7A, which is a approval of minutes. We have 7 minutes to go. So we're going to do approval of minutes and then we'll wrap this up. So do I have a motion to accept the regular meeting minutes of Monday, January 26, 2026?
I will make that motion.
Thank you very, oh,
Hey, Kalamai, I will make that motion.
thank you very much. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Very good. Can we take a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the regular meeting minutes of Monday, January 26, 2026 has been accepted. And at this point, this meeting, Neighborhood Board number 26 is concluded.